Yo! Jerk.
I was giving you the ambiance.
Yeah. Oh.
Darian, can you adjust the cam for it?
Good?
I don't know. Hang on.
Do we need to shut
Yeah,
the,
that's fine. Is it? Hello.
Is that the woman fine,
Oh,
or
No,
is
it's
that
it.
bang?
Bang.
That camera's not working.
Neither is that one.
No.
No, that's what I mean. The camera on you guys is not working. You guys don't exist.
All right, hang on.
Half our table is invisible today.
I'm going to swap out with Thaco here
As I yell at my computer because it does this.
before we begin.
Want to be dragged into the dining room?
Without technical difficulties. Yeah.
Hi guys.
Darian, do you want to? Or no, I'm already up. I'll get it.
Today, Thaco is hosting Band of Wanderers.
And it has
And go.
large fruits, parma, olives, grilled cheese, and pesto.
I wonder, was
And
plugging the
then
TV in part of that?
It's not
Did it
recognizing
go on
one of the cameras.
Basically margarita pizza.
Maybe it got unplugged somehow.
And
On mine I have
Oh, there it is.
pepperoni at it.
That might have been my fault. Sorry.
Yes, invisible players.
Oh, they got caught on the bottom of it.
I see.
Power.
And are you sharing or am I? Discord?
Hey, look at that. We
It's
have
already
people.
pinned
Do
there.
we have camera?
We have camera.
We have camera.
Yay.
That was probably my fault. Also, how is the sound quality? Can you guys hear fan? Because I have fan right off screen. I think it's off screen.
What do you mean? Sharing?
Because it is like a heat index of 100 today.
No.
And it's super hot and humid.
Yes.
It is nasty.
But only in the house. It's not that bad outside.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, it is. At least to me it is.
After
He's the
working
DM.
in AC all day,
I
I
know.
walked outside and went,
All right.
I can't breathe.
It's just fun like normal. Okay, great.
Thanks, Kit Kat.
Okay, welcome everybody. It is Wanderers tonight. Adventure in Ravnica. That's not it. Ravnica something. Ravnica chapter, I don't remember what I called it.
The Band of Wanderers, Chapter 2.
Yeah, chapter 2. Something in Ravnica. Okay. Welcome to Dragons in the Dining Room.
No, that was Sunday.
What was Sunday?
Killing PCs.
Killing PCs.
Yeah,
Yep.
I killed
Ash
a
died.
PC. I killed a PC on Sunday.
My character Ash, who's dead.
And I looked at her and went, Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
That's him and my birthday next Monday, so it fits. And actually, it was Jimmy's birthday.
Yeah.
It was Jimmy's birthday when he died.
I'm just trying to tie character deaths and
Thanks.
birthdays.
Thanks,
Right,
Well-
she's just trying to
Just
ruin
dates I'll
everyone's
never forget.
birthdays.
Rest in peace.
Is
Is
It's gonna be.
that's a mean thing to say as a
It's gonna
DM.
be, what, a year since I left this side next month?
Okay.
Next week?
So last we left off, the group, well, more or less, Xanthip had received a summons from Jace to bring himself and Andrast and their friends to the Chamber of the Guild Pact, where he, when he's in his office, is there. He wants their help with something in regards to also teaching them how to be planeswalkers.
Hey, Dirk. Father Jerry.
Hello.
Oh, hey.
I see Axel. Hi,
welcome.
Axel. That reminds me, as Axel sort of brought it up. We are missing our Zeke tonight. Zeke will be played by Thaco here.
Yes.
Zeke does not feel well, so he's going to get some sleep.
Turk just grabbed a Dip Dirt shirt from us.
That's awesome.
Oh, sweet.
They are on sale today because, feeling generous.
Awesome.
That's through,
Thank you.
That's through the merch store that we have. They're on sale, $15 a t-shirt.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Spooky.
So they made their way up from the Undercity, which they were in, investigating the Rakdos in hopeful Ilmalaine.
So we finally got a name. Okay.
Hello,
Axel,
Tay.
that's not a good thing.
Oh yeah, here it's on that.
Don't do that. That hurts.
So in the middle of their investigation on that, they were called back to the chambers. So they made their way there. But on the way, they stopped at the Viscopa Bank, which is
Right.
So
which
many
is actually
goblins.
VIZ, not VIS. But you did very well for getting
Trying to
alphanetics.
remember all of it.
They went to the Viscopa Bank to exchange some currency, and instead they exchanged some goblins. A rough 3-digit number of them.
I said we exchanged some live goblins for dead goblins.
Luckily, the Viscopa Bank is one of the...
Okay, I was right. Never mind. Okay, I'm good.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I wasn't aware that Axel changed his name.
Yes, that's previously Krabby Patty.
So I was like, wait, who is that and why
The
is
artist,
he a mod?
the artist formerly known as Krabby Patty.
Has it had a name change? It is now Axel.
Yeah, no, I was like, I recognize that. I don't know who that is. They're a mod. Why are they a mod? I should know. Is that Krabby Patty? That's Krabby Patty.
So,
Well, we get Spider-Man.
a giant boulder ran its way through the Viscopa Bank, taking everybody by surprise, including the Orzhov. And luckily, the Viscopa Bank is one of the most guarded places in Precinct 1. So,
Oh yeah, I missed last session.
most...
Any good use of spirit guardians.
Yes. The goblins were handily dealt with the party and with the gargoyles and all the Viscopa
And
defenses.
vampires and whatnot.
Vampire knights and stuff like that. And that's where we pick up. So, just mere seconds ago, as half of you were on the second floor and half of you were on the first floor, a gigantic boulder bigger than the one that hit the tower in the very first episode of this chapter came through the wall. Luckily, the building's still standing, and there's still most of it. There's just a giant hole in the wall, at least 2 stories big. And there are bodies, many bodies of goblins, as everyone is sort of shocked.
I stopped playing my lyre.
There are bodies on the floor.
Anyone have an extra-dimensionary portal we can just chuck these things into?
Prestidigitate, prestidigitate, prestidigitate.
No, they're just sleeping.
And what do you
Wait.
press to dictate up with a body?
I know, right?
Just scoot along
Vistra?
5 inches?
So a portal opens, Vistra appears like
It's like
reverb.
It's like a broom.
Oh god.
Reverb.
Yes.
wait, we have a bag of devouring. Just open it up and start dumping the bodies.
You know what? Honestly, I believe Zeke would do that.
Zeke would do
Yeah,
that. I
he
agree.
would.
Zeke would
I
do
believe
that.
Zeke would do
Goblin
that.
body.
You're going to find him standing there going, trying to shove a goblin in the bag.
What about his affinity for goblins, given that he was raised by a goblin?
That's true.
At the same time,
They
these
did
aren't
attack.
these aren't the goblins that he was raised by.
Aren't
Yes.
most goblin clans extremely hostile to each other?
Not in this place.
Okay.
The goblin races that are a part of the...
And somewhere, Jeffrey's danger senses trigger.
Right?
Pulls a meerkat moment.
So,
What was that?
Before the hyena comes.
in Ravnica, there are passive groups of goblins that work for Izzet. And a goblin is who raised what you know as Zeke.
Mm-hmm.
So there are goblin tribes that are part of the Gruul clans.
Okay.
But just like every other race, there's good and bad.
So
In fact, this place has more good than bad.
in this situation, because Zeke would know the difference between Izzet clan and
Yeah.
he'd be sitting there going,
Yeah.
Yeah, he successfully feeds a body or two, and the bodies disappear as it goes into the bag. And
Wow.
there are several people watching, and there's whispering.
"This is a new experiment,"
And
and then he puts it back.
one of the vampire knights is wiping off his blade, and he quickly, and I mean almost out of sight, he quickly takes it from battle position to guarded and sticks it back into its sheath. And he walks over to Xanthip, who would be the nearest. Did you bring them here?
No, I came here for money.
That's what all people do, but how did they arrive?
Your guess is as good as mine. I'm assuming through the giant hole in the wall.
It's just a coincidence that... And he looks at you closely for a second. And he actually darts around your group and he lands on Andras for a moment. Of your talents show up, and then so do they.
It may be, but I can tell you with absolute certainty it was not by my design.
At that point, a spirit appears next to him, and it looks like he's communicating with the spirit. And he walks away from you. They appear to go back towards the opening in the wall.
Bye then.
When in doubt, blame the bard.
Right? Allure will come running over to Xanthip and tug on his leg. Okay, if there's another glowing book, I quit.
You and me both.
No kidding.
Not again.
I'm gonna walk up to you guys. No kidding.
That was a fun scrape, though.
There are lots of people cleaning up debris now. It looks... They've quickly entered recovery mode. What time is it?
Yes.
It is mid-morning, getting close to afternoon.
So I've got a couple hours before I have to show up to the guild.
Probably less.
Okay.
Probably an hour.
Well, not much more work we can do here.
Let's go.
I say we leave. And I'm going to
Forward.
speak up so that the rest of the group can hear.
There are... I mean, as you guys look around, there are a fair number of eyes watching your group.
It's not like we don't attract attention everywhere we go anyway.
You know,
I might as well have a neon sign over my head.
Half orc, cat, robot.
Spark, 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 spark.
Yeah, 2 of you have it. Well, technically 3.
The most normal looking people
Hey, they
out,
don't
of,
have them
out of
either.
the entire 6 of us are
What of
those
the
two.
group that
She's got this one.
fell into Ravnica?
Wait, who's the third one that has the spread?
9 does.
9.
Oh.
Yeah. But 9's taking the easy life.
Right. Chilling with the plants and the birds and the bees.
Yep. The birds and the bees.
Yep, birds
Okay.
and bees. I'm going to speak up and go, well, not much more we can do here. We've got a meeting.
Let's go. A meeting?
Yes. I
You
told
would be
about this
aware,
the other
but
day.
go ahead and explain it.
We're going to go meet Jace.
Oh, okay, cool.
You have one job during this meeting.
Keep her
Sit
from
on her
moving.
lap.
Jerk. I'm gonna roundhouse him in the butt.
Can you lift your leg that high?
Yes, I can. I'm a monk.
Okay.
But yeah, and just about face and start heading out the door.
There is so much chaos in the air right now that you are... While being watched, you are allowed... You know, you're let go. No one's stopping you.
I'm gonna climb down from my little
Your rope trick?
trick and
Okay.
dismiss it and then leave.
You disappear out of thin air. Like a
Wait.
cat does.
Wait.
I'm
I'm going to grab the rope and start walking it like a balloon. No, you cannot do that, Lily.
No, I know you can't. Well, come on, that sounds like fun though.
It would be.
You
just
just have
pull
one
your-
person on the ground and everyone else up in there and they just pull it along.
What are you doing? I am performing magic.
Either that or you just poke your head out so it just looks like a floating head on a rope. I'm a different type of balloon. I'm attacking one.
Based on
That's terrifying.
Zeke and Kat's experience with the city, you know it'll probably take about 20 minutes to get back to the chamber from where you are. Especially if you go down Plaza Avenue.
That could be fun.
What are you stealing?
Schemes. Should I be worried?
No.
No,
It's a
Okay.
cute idea.
Okay.
it's a Taya idea.
That's a
No,
idea.
it doesn't work. Oh, I can see.
But would Warlock or Paladin be more fun?
It's a cute idea.
That's awesome.
What about a bard?
I have dwarfism.
Oh no. You have to find something goofy, like druid, fighter,
Barbarian.
barbarian.
I'd say barbarian.
Something
would be-
overpowered.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say barbarian would be fun with that idea.
Okay.
I am the child of the red dragon.
About what sort of grouping are you guys walking in now?
I will
Who's
be
in front?
I
and-
will be in the lead because
Okay.
it was my summoning as I'm going.
I'm
I'm
going
assuming it's going to put Katarina in the rear
Is
because
that
she
where you
has
wanna
to
be?
climb down from the rope and follow
Sure.
us.
But she also has incredible move speed, so she
Yeah.
could easily catch up.
Chap.
So, do you want to be in the rear of the group?
I can be in the back,
Okay.
and I'm just watching as we go. Just
Okay.
Hello, Miss Fairpellow.
Hello, sweetie.
Let's be in the middle.
Okay.
Because I could easily outrun these guys, so I'll just stick to the middle.
I'll be walking up front with.
I cannot run anyone.
I don't think you run that one.
No, the rest of the group. I know, because what's your movement speed?
Well, my movement speed's only 30, but I can
Very
use
easily.
feline agility.
Yeah.
And double that.
Between the two of you guys could probably run a marathon in less than
So
2
my
movements.
regular walking speed is 50.
And if I
And I
pass,
have
and
seven
if I
rounds.
pass that first strike, then I can move double that.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Speedy noticed something.
Yes, I got a haircut.
It looks good.
Yeah, I like it. It's not like my last one. That
Okay, the way you said, yeah, I got a haircut made it sound like you
Fair enough.
decided you didn't like it anymore.
I know other people like my hair being long, but it's summer. It's nasty out here.
Trust me, I understand.
Me too.
I have no
I-
idea what
And you
you're
guys
talking
both
about.
have really thick hair, too. I think, Patrick, you've got
Don't
thick hair,
have-
too.
I do. Okay. So, Xanthip and Kat and Kaylin give me a d6. I can't read that too.
No, you said give me a
Roll a
D6.
d6.
I got a 3.
5. Okay. So 2, 3, 5. Okay. As you guys are walking, there's lots of people walking around, and a lot. As you leave Viscopa Bank, there's a lot of onlookers.
We're just like,
Rubberneckers. How many
Yeah.
Azorius are out there?
Strange. When you get outside, and you get on the other side of the street from the bank, and keep moving on, and you can see into the bank from the hole in the wall. There are Azorius running in from other angles. You see a troop of 3 here, a troop of 5 there, coming from down this alley, from down that street. It looks like response hasn't been finished yet.
Well, I
So,
block, but I write down.
it's definitely being responded to. And you get into the plaza, and it's very beautiful here. It's very nicely shaped cobblestones. There's a nice giant fountain, sort of like there was in the bank, but there's not depictions of vampires. It's humans and elves, and it's very beautiful.
Are any of them decapitated?
No decapitated statues.
If I turn my back to them and then look, do they get closer?
Yes.
Damn it.
Oh.
No!
No. Don't blink.
That is the last thing we need right now.
And then a small child in a gas mask asks, "Are you my mummy?"
No. If you're its mummy, there's an issue we need to discuss.
Well,
What
you don't know what all changed when he went through the portal and became a bard.
What if we learned in our campaigns about keeping secrets from each other?
Darian's like,
Sure,
I'm gonna.
nothing comes to light.
Darian's like, I'm gonna keep eating. Gonna keep eating. That's good food.
You're a really good flatbread.
Axel, don't copy me. Gosh. Dude.
Oh wow, I gave the same quote twice. Okay.
Third time's a charm.
As you approach the avenue, it's sort of a raised bridge. It doesn't look to serve any purpose as a bridge. It just appears to be nice and decorative. There is a little cutaway into the ground, but you can't see any discernible purpose. At one point in time, this might have gone further down. It looks like if you had to give you guys best guess, this is where they were starting to expand to the Undercity, like making underneath. But then this might not have been a good area, and they moved on somewhere else. So there's definitely ground to fall into, but there's no like buildings or people down there. You can't see the bottom, or you can see the bottom. It's just dirt.
Right.
But it's a nice elevated bridge through this little pathway.
It's just dirt. It's like the road from our house. It's just dirt.
Unlike several places you guys have been, this plaza is unnaturally clean. Even if you had specks of dirt on you and you see them fall off your shoes, they don't stay, they disappear. The stone is very clean, the fountain is very clean, the water's crystal.
Massive permanent prestidigitate.
No, right?
It's been described, as you've heard people talking, a beautiful oasis of calm and cleanliness.
Right, we need that in our houses, don't we, Grouch?
Oh,
I need that. Everybody
I
needs
would
that.
love that.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it was would be like very tired at my house. I have too many pets. I sweep and there's like a whole nother dog.
I'm pretty sure if you had a Roomba, the Roomba would be trying to run eat your ankles and be like, I can't keep up.
I don't think we could have a Roomba with how much Alyssa sheds.
The Roomba would probably try to eat your ankles too and be like, I can't do this, man.
I don't think it would.
It would quit.
It would just die.
It's like, I'm on strike. Screw this.
And
Crap,
a white
I'm out.
flag as it rolls across the ground.
Now,
Okay, the
how
cat sitting on
cute.
top.
Katerina, you
We get a Roomba that responds to being petted.
you have heard of this plaza before. It's talked about. This is one of the meeting points for anybody, guilds, gangs, criminals. It's kind of a neutral ground, almost like the hotels in John Wick. It's sanctified meeting ground. The only rule at this point in time, besides typical, steel and stuff like that, is no drawing weapons. And you know that. You haven't necessarily been here very often, maybe once or twice, but you would you would let the party know or whatever. And I think we did last time
We
too.
talked about that already. That
No weapons.
No weapons. Are on.
Yep.
Because the assholes tried to rob us in front of the bank.
Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't get away with it.
That was funny.
And you see lots of enforcers. Many people in Azorius armor, and even some Boros around here. This is what appears to be a jewel of the city for the meeting grounds.
Quick question: what district are we in?
You're in District 1, or Precinct 1.
Precinct 1.
Joe, I swear that fish made it pack up with that roll.
I do too. I am going to make my way toward this floating monolith
Yeah, and
of a
as
building.
as you guys get on this avenue, this raised bridge sort of deal, it leads clearly to the chamber. You can see it's about 10 more minutes of walking, maybe 15. But in the distance, there, as the bridge ends, there seems to be a gap into much smaller bridges that lead to this. It's not floating, but it's elevated.
Right.
An elevated, like the top of, like a colonial city hall,
Okay.
or like the domed buildings.
It just makes it really easy.
It's that type of dome. It looks very
Domey?
domey. No, it looks very, very prestigious.
Gotcha.
Oh, so it's a fancy.
Prestigious.
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 I am going to continue
Okay.
forward. I want to, this will be one of the first times in my life I'm 15 minutes early.
Impressive for a half orc.
For Xantha, period.
He's never early or late. He arrives exactly when intended.
Precisely when intended.
Okay, Julie Andrews.
Andras, roll d12.
What
And
am I rolling for?
roll carefully.
10.
Oh, that's not good. Andras falls over. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
Rocks fall.
Rocks fall.
Just as long as another boyfriend doesn't die.
Rocks fall, Jimmy dies.
He wasn't there for that.
I know.
She's graduated from
Neither
fictional
was she.
boyfriends to the real ones
I
now.
renamed the NPC that she's flirting with in Sand and Magic to Jimmy. And then they had to go run out and fight giant scorpions. And she's like, is he
That were
gonna
like
die?
legitimately one-shotting people.
Right?
She's like, he's gonna die. I'm like, you don't know.
So she wrote a letter to him,
Oh.
but we didn't get to hear it.
No.
Not yet.
Not yet. You really think he's not gonna read that out loud?
As you guys are walking down this avenue, there is a middle-aged human, long flowing hair, sitting in front of a canvas on a stool, and he's painting.
Can you tell us where the memories are?
Where the memories are? I don't get that reference. I'm sorry.
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild.
I never played it.
It's a good game.
Then again, I'm
What
not.
is it that he is painting?
As you walk to the other side, and don't pay him much mind. Hello, nods.
Yep.
From where he's at, it looks like he's painting Orzova from here.
There's a giant hole in the Viscopa bank now. Just thought I'd let you know.
And he's just deftly stroking on the canvas there with his brush. And he says, I've already completed that part.
Ah, wonderful. So have we.
And you guys continue on.
Yep.
You arrive at the Chamber of the Guild Pact, and the avenue bridge that you were on condenses down into a much smaller
Single
pathway.
file, everybody.
Maybe double file.
Okay.
Whereas the avenue was hundreds of feet wide, this bridge is maybe 15 feet wide.
Okay.
And
Is it like the Mackinac Bridge?
oh god, no! It's sturdy stone and concrete.
Okay.
Well, there would become a pancake on the floor.
And there's a little
Throw my good thing Katarina doesn't have.
Wait,
my
the
version.
bridge is maybe about 100 feet long,
Okay.
and in the middle, 40 feet from the entrance and the exit, there's a little dome, a little spired dome to walk in through.
The one where the bridge moves.
Yay, snack.
Who's in front?
This guy.
Okay.
I'll be next to him or just behind him.
Okay. As you come up to this little,
I'm gonna have Katarina put her hand on her forehead to make her the last one in.
so
It's the twist.
boy, a fireball would be really bad while they're in the middle of a bridge over a chasm.
Baby.
Yeah.
Luckily, it's a stone bridge.
Yes, you actually are the one to instigate this.
Quick, everybody spread out.
It's a good thing it's not like a 1 on a d20, because I rolled a 1 on a d20.
It's a 20 on a D1.
I know. No fireball, sorry. Good try, though.
Yeah? We'll get you. I mean, you will hit us eventually again.
Again.
Thank you for the lure.
Aww.
There's a small checkpoint.
Now, is that supposed to be panda or pants?
Probably
Panda
panda, because I said
Pants.
pants.
Fancy pants.
It's fancy pants. There is 40 feet on this bridge. As you walk towards it, there is a person, an armored individual, sitting in front of like a division,
Okay.
and he sees you coming up, and he, hello,
Hi,
what's your name?
Xanthip. What's your name?
Gerald.
Hi, Gerald.
Nobody asks me my name.
I'm the
We
first.
do.
What are you doing here today, Xantha?
I'm going to be visiting Jace.
Does he have an appointment for you?
No, he told me to come here.
What, noon?
Yeah.
So that would be an appointment.
An appointment insinuates that I'm the one who asked to meet him. He
Not
told me to
necessarily.
be here.
While you guys are arguing, you can see him do this. And it's not the annoyed face, but
It's
he's
the-
just,
His
yeah.
name
Going
is
through
not
his
It's
mental
Gerald.
list.
transmission. I'm thinking things.
His name is not Gerald. He lied. His name is Heimdall.
Yes. And as you guys are arguing over the semantics of a appointment, he said, "Okay, yes, Xanthip, you and your party are cleared
They call me
for the chamber."
Tim.
And the division, so there's like an L division. The part that lets you continue on the bridge slides in to the bridge,
Neat.
creating a pathway.
As we walk past, Alert will wave and say, "Have a nice day, Gerald."
You as well.
As long as it's not one of the rotator thingies.
No.
Oh, those are awful.
Thank you for the alert.
My hair's not long enough to pull over my shoulder now. This is sad.
As you reach this
Hi, Cass.
elevated platform,
We'll
talk about it.
Okay.
as you reach this elevated platform, there is only one entrance into this domed building, and so there's a walkway all the way around, where all the bridges kind of meet, but there's only one entrance, and it's close to where you guys came in.
We chose the right entrance. Yay.
The entrance is up another pretty large flight of stairs. Not large as in
Stairs.
many stairs up, but just like big stairs.
No,
We
that'd be
have
my
both.
nemesis.
Yeah.
You know, you would think with all the walking through the desert that we had to do. Actually, no, we had horses.
Yeah.
I don't like all this walking. I'm not
We'll
that
get
kind
you
of
some
cleric.
Heelys.
You're not. What kind of cleric is the walking cleric?
From
Christopher
down below
Walken?
your knees, you hear, "How do you think I feel?"
We'll get you a child backpack.
Okay.
I'm going to, Zeke, we need to invent Heelys.
No.
Heelys?
What we need is Heelys and then a tether so I can just hold on and like glide behind people as you walk.
We invented Heelys and you invented sketching.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we can whiplash her into a fight. Somebody run and then turn quickly, and she lets go and just goes. Whee!
I'm
Okay.
going to enter the
Yeah.
Guild Pact.
She becomes a
Thing.
There are guards here, but since you've already checked in with a checkpoint, they don't stop you. Strangely enough, all these armored individuals have no guild symbols. They don't seem to be Azorius. But they do wear nice, well-maintained armor, shiny to a fault. And there are a large doors, and
I flick a speck of dust and see if it disappears when it hits something.
not this time, no. Only over that avenue you were at. They allow you in, the doors open, and you guys hear small chattering, not like almost as quiet as it was in the bank.
Okay.
There are groups of people here.
Library chatter.
Yeah, library chatter. And this is definitely a governance building. There are many people in robes that look well-to-do. There is no street urchins, homeless. There's no what would appear to be lower class here. This is definitely a place where dignitaries are.
Business casual is underdressed.
Roll me percentile.
It's a good thing that I'm wearing probably black.
Probably black.
How does 67 sound to you?
As you look around, give me perception.
That would be somewhere around 19.
You look around to various
Sorry,
groups of
21.
people talking, and you spot that noble who gave you those couple of coins, so to speak, that you brought to Viscopa.
If we manage to meet eyes, I'll just give him a slight nod of
Okay.
recognition.
He doesn't seem to see you, but you noticed him, and he's talking to somebody wearing a Orzhov colors with a symbol. And in fact, as you look around, you can see several guilds, dignitaries, and members here. But you also see a striking amount of Orzhov. Of the guilds that are present here in the chamber, there seem to be a group of them. And as you walk in, another set of Orzhov individuals walk through the door, and they brush right by you guys. Don't pay any attention. There are 4 of them. 2 of them look like the vampire knights that were in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
And two of them are really old humans. And they walk right by you. In fact, let's say, who would be closest as they walk by? I know you're in front, but let's say...
Does the small one get trampled?
No.
Okay.
Andrast and Allure, they kind of brush by you guys, and as the Vampire Knights move on and nothing happens, but as the two really, really old humans walk by, for a brief second you can swear you felt cold.
Oh.
I'm very uncomfortable with the presence of vampires, just putting that out there.
They walked right by you.
I'm uncomfortable with the energy in the studio today.
I'm not going to bother with them much other than just making a mental note that everybody's there. Does there seem to be a reception desk?
Yes. There are several staircases up to other floors, and there's actually an elevator in this building too, like from Nivix. But there is, when you step in and you take in the sights of this building, there is a receptionist desk nearby.
Elevator.
I will start walking over.
Okay. It only takes you a few steps as you get closer, and they're helping somebody, and as you approach, that Orzhov group cuts right in front.
Excuse me.
They don't really pay you any attention. They start talking to the receptionist, and the as they've got the receptionist's attention, you guys can hear in a relatively quiet building some shouting, and upstairs, probably the third or fourth floor from where you are, you can't quite tell, you can just hear. Even though it's shouting, you still quietly hear, "I will not stand for this." And
you should sit down.
a set of doors flies open somewhere. You can hear the pounding of the door on the wall. And the group, the two knights and two old men, look up at the noise disruption, and they advance that way.
Someone got the panties in a twist.
Sucks to be him.
Okay.
Step forward.
And there's a half-elf, young female, sitting at the desk there, and she looks at you and, "Hello, what can I do for you?"
I see queuing in line doesn't work here. You have to have money. You can go first.
It's there was an incident today on Orzhov property, and they are
giant boulder blew up the Viscopa Bank. We were there and cleared out the goblins.
oh, they're very brave, but it's very coincidental that you were there.
Or unlucky. Depends on your point of view.
Unlucky.
I'm here to see Jace.
Oh. I don't know if he's here.
He will be
He
very shortly.
very rarely is here.
He will be here very shortly. He told me so.
Are you sure you're not here to see Lavinia? She usually
I'm
handles...
here to see Jace. He's the one who told me to be here.
Okay. If you say so.
There was a voice in my head that said, "I am Jace. Come see me at noon."
Now you just sound insane.
What? Whatever. Where would I go to meet him?
She says, "Give me a second." And she looks around for a moment, and one of the armored individuals standing nearby, she beckons him over, and everybody wants to listen. Perception, because she's whispering.
19.
I don't hear nothing.
Okay.
18, passive of 21.
23.
18. So everybody but Allure, you can
Unless
hear.
passive of 12 works.
No, you hear whispering. Everyone else, you can hear some.
I'm too short to hear.
She's whispering to this guard. She says, "Go get Lavinia." And the guard goes up the stairs. Lavinia takes care of Jace's duty while he's gone.
Jay said he would be here.
He's not here.
I know he's not. He said be here at noon.
We're a little early.
We're a bit early. How do I meet Jace?
Well, Lavinia can get you to Jace.
You are a very poor person at your job.
I
I'm
am doing
going
my
to
job
smack
just
Zip.
fine.
I'm going to smack Zandip
Right?
and
Oh,
tell him to be nice.
whack! Don't be a Karen.
What's a Karen?
Apparently what Xantha would be.
She points you to a nearby set of chairs and benches, and just a moment, Lavinia will help you. Go away
I'm
now.
gonna go sit
You
down.
sound like a Jake zombie.
And I thought she was obsessed with Jace.
Right? It's not that I'm obsessed with him, it's that she's not doing what I asked her to do.
Okay, so apparently I'm gonna have to sit on Xanthic now. So I would like to note that the entire time we are in this building, especially whenever like the vampires were near us, I'm just standing there with my one hand clasped over my other, where my holy symbol is. Because my holy symbol is Kirby's.
You can tell that Andrast is uncomfortable. Everybody,
Very
it's clear.
We knew she was uncomfortable in the bank too, because there were vampires everywhere there too.
Vampires and ghosts so
And
much.
ghosts that talk to us.
Tell us about her.
Vampires, ghosts, and the elf boys.
Oh
Oh
my. Okay, just give me 1 sec. Okay. It's not helping.
Why do you think they play that music?
Okay. In mere moments from one of the elevators up here, the doors open, and you see this woman approach. Soft blue cap, nice shiny breastplate, lots of scrolls in cases and carriers.
Cool.
Are you laughing because I said breastplate?
Yes.
Which is a type of armor. Hey, Ange. Look at me for a second. Look at me. Breastplate.
No, it's just shiny titty armor.
She has
shiny
I can't do it.
I just found it really funny that you had to point out
That her armor is shiny?
that her breastplate is shiny.
She's wearing a breastplate.
But
It is inappropriate.
It's armor.
for a wolf, and I think she expected you to say chest plate, not breastplate.
Well, chest plate isn't the thing.
Nope.
Right.
Yeah.
Victoria's Secret.
Anyway.
As she approached,
Yes, she's got even. I don't know how well you can tell from this picture, but she's even got that kind of scowl on her face.
that eagle face scowl.
Yes, and you can tell by her blue cap and the white accoutrements and her blue cape, she is Azorius. Through and through. And she approaches, and she gets to the desk, and she talks to the half-elf, and then she looks your way, and you can see and she walks over, and which one of you is Xanthic?
I am.
What are you here to see Jace for?
Because he told me to be here.
He's not here.
I know. He said he'd be here at noon.
So why summon me?
I didn't.
did.
She did. I
Well-
told her we were here to see Jace. She said we're here to see you.
I suppose that is what she's supposed to do. I'm the deputy of the Guild Pact.
Okay.
I help Jace with matters, but it doesn't mean I like him.
Apparently.
I'll be a troublemaker.
He's never here.
Again,
He
troublemaker.
comes and goes as he pleases, and he's hard to find. It's for someone whose duty it is to keep this entire city safe. To just disappear and come back at a whim makes my job hell.
Fantastic.
Animal.
Well, you can go into his room and wait. 'Cause
Wonderful. That's what I asked the very first time.
I will
But
bring
she
you
did
there.
not listen to me.
All right. And she beckons you guys to stand up and follow her.
I'm going to walk by the receptionist and mouth.
They bring you up a couple flights of stairs, and she brings you into what is probably the most decorated set of doors in the room, kind of in the center of the 3rd floor, and opens them up, and there's a very luxurious waiting room.
Wow.
Very cushiony couches, seats, pillows, a very small golden tiny brazier where you would put incense into or light a small fire.
Is there a candy dish?
There's no hard candy dish. Jace is not 140.
The magic raspberry dish of old age.
No, it has to have the little strawberry things that no one knows that they actually.
She just said
know
that's
what
the
they're
No,
on.
I said
The
brazier.
magic
Okay.
Because brazier is another name for it.
brazier.
Brazier. No, a brazier.
Brazier is the chest.
It's a chest harness.
Wait. Would a brazier be a brazier for a fire elementalist?
Yes.
Yes.
There you go.
A brazier.
Shut up.
You quite alright, Ange?
No.
No?
People are dumb.
Who, me?
No. People.
Okay.
Basically, why people cry because I didn't get my
Yeah.
birth control.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
In mere moments, she departs the room after you all settle in. It's very it's decorative, but it's very very heavy on utility.
Utilitarian?
Yes, I don't want to screw up words more.
No, it's
So I had it in my head, and I was like,
I'm
I
not
don't
sure
want
if
to.
that's the right one.
Yeah.
It's like it's expensive utilitarian.
Yes. Yes. There is a quite large desk, a chair behind it. The room is a moderate brightness. There's light coming in from a window. There's a couple of lit torches.
Thank you for the follow, Cam Wills.
Hello, thank you.
Thank you.
And it's very. Besides the color of fabrics, the walls are colorless. They are just, well, they're the stone color or the concrete color. They weren't painted or decorated in any way besides a few pictures here and there. Like I said, it's a weird mix of utility and comfort. And you guys wait for what seems like 10 or 20 minutes before the door opens and you see who you recognize that walk through
Jace.
in a teal coat
It's an aesthetic.
with lots of white marking on it.
It's my game mat.
Yes, which you've never used.
When was the last time I played Magic?
She doesn't want to dirty the visage of Jace.
No, I actually have used it.
Oh, once.
I played Magic like once.
Hi, Jace. We've been here for 20 minutes and nobody believed me.
What do you mean nobody would believe you?
I told this receptionist that you told me to be here at noon, and she told me to talk to some lady who didn't believe me that you were going to be here at noon, who said she was your deputy. Nobody believed me when I said you were going to be
And
here.
when you said deputy, he lived in you.
Yeah, that's the name.
Yeah, she's difficult.
She says the same about you.
I figure. Hello, you've
Hi.
brought new people with you this
I
time.
have brought friends. These are the new compatriots.
Well, I'm not exactly new.
We've got
I am.
Katerina.
Well, actually, Allure, are you wearing your black and red garb?
I don't have any other clothes.
You brought a Rakdos with you?
Sort of, no.
Sort of no.
No. She's wearing that because she's from Myrtle.
I was
And
originally
somehow
meant down.
ended up
Oh.
with the Rakdos and got some of their clothing because of reasons.
Do you have your instruments on you? This is not me asking. This is just, do you have your instruments?
The only instrument I would have had would have been my hand pan because I was.
Is it somewhere visible, or is it
Yeah.
like in a pack or something?
No, it would be on my back. The
Okay.
thing is big enough to be basically a turtle shell on me.
And
Welcome back.
are you a performer?
Yes.
That's why. Performers find family in the rank of Rakdos.
That's Katerina. We
Hello.
found her
I don't
with the
see many-
Selesnya.
I don't see many of your kind around here either.
She's the one I was talking about that needs help.
What kind of help?
You don't remember?
No. I'm very busy.
She belongs to one faction and wishes to join a different.
Leaving guilds is normally a fine thing.
Yeah.
They don't.
It's the Demir.
Oh, Demir.
He just goes,
Just because I happen to be very stealthy, and when I'm not from here either, I was curious like a cat and went through a portal behind a gin and ended up here.
Said the king, but
Well, there's a couple ways I could do this. The guilds don't necessarily care if I overstep power. I'm not technically part of any guilds, although I write the law for the city.
Well, being neutral.
I can excuse you from their service, but that doesn't protect you from them. It's a situation you may want to try to handle with yourselves. I can...
Anything that could
What's-
give us a leg up.
Do you know any names? I know they give you code names.
Yeah, Raven and I don't think I actually know any actual names.
That doesn't help.
He's one of the lieutenants.
What about your mentor? Do you know your mentor's name?
So that's Raven. My mentor is Angel Dust.
Nope, that's a nickname.
Yeah, I don't know anybody's name.
Okay, without knowing their names, I can't connect with them.
If we knew what they looked like, would it help?
You can try to... No, there's too many people in the city. I can't just... A name helps me get into... message with their mind.
So, but if you've seen a
Well,
person,
hold on to that for
can you
just a
not
moment.
message
Why am I here?
their mind?
Okay, while you're here, in a second, what I can do for you, again,
Or we can just handle it ourselves. If any leg up would be helpful as to like how, because I belong to the Selesnya too, and that's where I want to be. That's who I joined secondly because I kind of was, trapped when I first got here. I
And
needed
he's-
money and
as you're talking, he's contemplating, and he pulls out a drawer from his desk. He walks around to his desk, pulls out a drawer and a small piece of parchment, starts writing. And after he's done writing, he puts the quill down, and he takes two fingers, and they glow blue for a moment, and his eyes sort of light up white. And he stamps his fingers down on the parchment, and the parchment itself, some of the ink kind of shines white for a second, and there's a small circle inlaid on the text and the document itself. And he, after a moment of this and the eyes glowing dies down and his fingers die down, he takes the parchment and wraps it up and he hands it to you. This is a deed that says you are free from Demir, whatever you have on them or whatever they have on you. You are more or less just Selesnya now.
okay.
They may not look too kindly on this, but you're friends with Xanthip, and I kind of appreciate that. So, this doesn't protect you from them. I can't make you immune, but it does give you codified documentation that you are technically no longer Demir.
it helps with the law side of it.
Right.
I can't say that. I say that with actually very little certainty.
That's fine.
But it's something.
It's the step in the right direction. We much appreciate it.
If you got into a situation where you were defending yourself and Azorius arrested you, that document would almost pretty much set you free. So,
Got it. Well, I won't pick a fight, but if they try to attack me, I'm going to defend myself.
you have every right to. And he looks over at Andreas for a second.
Put that in my
Okay. You might want to put that in your inventory too, that you have
Put that
that.
in your secondary pocket.
third pocket.
Third pocket. That's
Your,
what we're trying to do now. It's the third
However
pocket.
you want to name it, but Jace's...
Absolution of contract to Demir.
Yeah, that's a big thing to write in your inventory.
JACD.
Yeah, but then I won't remember it, so I'm gonna write it all the way out.
Hey Moondog, how
Hello.
you doing tonight?
Hello.
Jace's Demir coupon.
Get out of jail.
Get out of jail free card.
Get out of here free.
So,
Thank you.
I hope it serves you well. Demir, not the ones... Besides Orzhov, Demir's probably not the one I would ever recommend anyone get mixed up with.
As I said, I was new here
Wait,
and
wait.
I needed money, and
I am so
stealth
lost.
is my thing. I'm a cat.
Sorry.
And he looks at Andrest. What's... You're lost?
When it comes to the different guilds, yes.
What are you lost about?
Which one is which?
Orzhov likes coin.
Yep.
Demir's like the sneaky spy people.
Yes.
Selesnia's the one with the tree.
Azurius are the high and mighty Toadsons.
Azorius are the lawmakers.
Yes.
They're the enforcers. I technically write the law, but the Azorius enforce.
And the,
Oh, okay.
Is it
That's
our
right. I was confused because I
mechanical
was
things? Mechanical things, because that's where
not
this comes
mixing up in my head out of character. I was combining Azorius and the Orzhov.
Okay.
So that's why I was confused of, wait, which guild did we talk about before we started chapter 2 that Andrest would be most interested in? I don't remember. Crap.
Always do the flowchart.
God, I don't remember which one it was either.
Yes. No, it was Azorius.
Was it?
Yeah.
The enforcers? Azorius are the law, the judges.
Right.
That's where his friend is.
Yes.
Risa.
Because we were talking,
And we still know what the other NPCs are yet.
because we were talking, it would make most sense for
Like your
Andrest
brother.
either to go for Azorius or for potentially Demir, depending on how things went.
It was hard enough to find him in the other world.
He's
I barely even want to try in this one with how big he is and how much of a butthead he was.
You're on your own, jerk.
I think those
You're
are
on
the,
your own.
no
You're
three
crippled now, but
three
you're on your
three
own.
NPCs came through. I think.
Because I think he was one of them.
So what was Jace going to say to
Yeah.
Andrest?
Give me a sec. Now my brain's. No. Yeah. 1, 2. 2 technically came through, but there might be a third one still. So you guys know about one of them.
I'm not surprised she came through. It's Risa.
She's probably going to vendetta against me right now.
Probably. She's like, I'm gonna kill you.
You don't know. You didn't even talk to her when you had the chance.
Yep.
Now she's gone forever.
But she
Still
is dead.
we were on a mission.
And he looks to Andrest and back at Xanthic. How are you coming along with your spark?
Haven't had a chance to play with it too much.
Have you figured out what type of mana to pull?
I see green glowy stuff and black glowy stuff.
I was definitely not black.
Blue and white.
Was it?
He's a blue and white
For
or
sh-
blue and
I for sure saw white. I was able to draw from white.
Can someone explain to me what that is?
Oh,
It's
can.
it's called mana. In every plane, there's a network of ley lines, which are natural. Some mages think arcane magic comes from ley lines, but I don't believe in that. Ley lines are natural lines of other forms of magic in every plane. Planeswalkers are connected to these ley lines through the spark.
Okay.
And I have an affinity to magic relating to water. People will narrow it down to colors for simplicity's sake. But I draw
Morgan Muffins every time.
I draw mana the best from water, but I can draw it from anything.
Fascinating.
I've had it for a very long time, and I've been through a lot.
I was wondering because considering the last 3 people that have realized that these two carry a spark have not been terribly friendly.
If people know you have a spark, then they are well informed. Planeswalkers aren't well known yet.
Well, apparently,
Ravnica's joining to the multiverse is only recent.
apparently many people here in Ravnica already know we have the spark.
I don't think that's true. I think you've just ran into people who do know. Most won't.
The fact that almost everybody we've run into has went, oh, you have the spark, is pretty disconcerting.
Hold on. I need to leave the game for a second. That hasn't happened.
Xanthic.
Okay, I know.
Xanthic.
I just want to clarify.
I understand.
Okay.
Xanthic.
Okay.
It's like a
Skewed perspectives.
4 people?
Yes. He's prone to overreacting
Prone?
sometimes.
We can tell.
Sometimes.
The fact that he's a bard now only makes it worse.
I can't believe that there's so many people who recognize you. And if that's true, you're hanging out with very powerful people.
Well, the
Well,
first thing that happened is this buddy here.
And as you guys are talking, there's
I'm
some more
pointing to
shouting. And Jace looks over at the door, and the door flies in, and there's a vampire guard.
Oh, good God.
See, Andros goes.
And one of
This
the
should be fun.
the vampire guard flies the door open, and behind him steps out one of those older, pale-looking
They
humans.
don't show any respect, do they?
Jace, I will not stand for my property being destroyed. And Jace, I understand. I know the Scoper Bank was just attacked. We are getting to the bottom of it. It was the Gruul. Do something about it. We can't know that for sure. We're working on it right now. I would advise that you please leave. I will not stand for guilds destroying my property.
And sit down.
And he looks at you, and he looks at you, gives you a dismissive look on his face, and returns to Jace.
We were having a conversation before you rudely interrupted us. Did you fart?
You will do something about the Gruul. They attacked
Please.
us. They...
Thank you.
Wait, do I have silence? Because
With as old as you are, you should have learned some respect.
you need to make a wisdom save. I cast suggestion on Xanthip and tell him that he needs to shut up and go sit down. And be quiet.
You feel compelled to stop taunting.
Roll the 1.
He's in the middle of... Please. Xanthip sort of uncharacteristically retreats.
That camera's off.
She did the.
I might have
ultimate-
unplugged it. Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me do something here.
Okay.
You just did the ultimate mom voice on him.
I did.
That was my fault
Funny.
again.
Thank you, Axel.
That's okay. It's got just enough tension on it. There.
Ah!
What did I just do?
You unplugged the fan?
Did I really?
Well, it's not running anymore.
Hang
Unless
on
you
one second,
managed to
folks.
break it.
No, it just stopped working.
You didn't unplug it.
I did now.
Did you blow a fuse?
No, not my life-saving fan.
Oh, we are just having all sorts of issues because that camera still isn't.
Yeah.
I'm just giving a little bit more slack to it.
Okay. Do I need to
There you
move?
Right behind you. The unplugged one, see if you can put working.
The computer situation is not exactly great right at the moment.
Alright, what just happened?
So, while they're working on that on Guild Wars, I got a femur bone mace.
Oh.
So I had to get a new character slot.
For Oriana.
So I made Oriana. And I had also
Better that
gotten
she
a
Oh, it's-
pair
that's a lot
of
better.
dragon horns. So that thus far is Oriana.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
How come her skin isn't red?
Because of there's unless I made her Sylvari,
Oh.
There's no physical way to get her skin the right color, which is why I did the tattooing that I did, because I felt that was kind of demonic looking.
Mm-hmm.
And she also has solid white eyes.
That's awesome.
That is so freaking
So-
cool.
But yeah. So yeah.
He hip checked the fan and broke it.
Like, broke it.
Like, how does that even happen?
I don't know.
Kit Kat. Sorry for this. That's fine.
That's quite
That's
alright,
awesome.
Kit Kat.
Yeah, we'd rather fix it than.
Oh no, you said Kit Kat said, sorry if I'm not talking a lot. I may or may not be practicing clarinet.
Oh, okay.
And Twiz, to be fair, it was a combined effort between the wolf and Thaco. So you gotta swap Thaco too.
Oh.
Which, for breaking things. Because technically it's Thaco that
Do you need to
broke it.
reinitialize the camera?
Yeah.
Actually, it's still dark.
Yeah.
Okay.
So your hot's in here.
No, it just looks like I'm
Demo,
sitting like
right
this.
click. Properties. Deactivate. Activate.
Ha! Ha ha!
Both of you got nose swatted with the newspaper.
Oh, don't do that.
Because you guys were breaking things.
You hip checked the fan and just killed it.
Dude, I did. I don't know how that happened.
Thaco got them powerful thighs.
You don't have much hip to
I
check
don't-
it with.
I know.
I don't have. Okay, so now it's working again.
Okay.
It just didn't want to work for me.
No,
No, you
You hit it. You hurt its feelings and it's just like covered in like a
Hey, Dr. Leach.
You
Hello.
necromancer sucked all the life out of
You just missed some technical difficulty.
You sucked the spark
Ah,
right out of the
I
fan.
win.
What color spark does the fan have? You just sucked the
White
spark
Dang
out of it.
Like, ask everybody here.
He kept turning it on and off
Yeah.
and on, and it was not working.
Yeah, because it
Unplugged
was
it.
off
plugged
track. All you had to do was listen, and you could hear it churning. All I had to do was go like that and push it together. And
But the fan itself wasn't starting.
If that one's
Oh.
working, can we get that one back?
it. As long as Thaco doesn't touch it.
Because that one feels way better. It actually hits my face and I'm already hot
Thanks
again.
for fixing it. He hip
Thank
checked
you.
it and it
Thank
just
you.
quit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna laugh if he
Yeah,
goes to
she
turn
has
it
a
on
magic
and
And
it
it was
doesn't
broken
turn on.
again?
Yeah, I'm gonna laugh
what
so
really
hard.
happened is I just like touched my boobs to it, and then
Well, yeah,
turned
it's
it
food
on, and it
magic.
magically.
Oh,
Yeah,
life-saving
yeah.
fan.
Yep, it works.
Thank you for fixing the fan.
I was gonna laugh if it stopped working.
Mm-hmm.
Much better.
If it happens again, just call me. That's the first one's free. After
first
that,
one's
I
free?
charge.
Well, thank you for saving us.
Thank you.
Okay.
Lots of rescue.
Is that too loud, folks?
It does seem louder than before.
That's because I have it turned up.
Yeah, if you guys hear fan, let us know. Well, I can
I can turn it down a bit.
suffer with being warm. Although maybe is it able? No, I don't want you to touch it. Thank you. Is it possible it's still up a little bit at all, or no? Just be ultra careful.
And it breaks.
No,
No, okay.
I don't have.
Because I feel like it's lower than it was, but that could be just because I'm all warm again.
Yeah, it doesn't have.
Okay, no
I
worries.
was like, crap.
Vertical twist.
Okay. So what the heck were we doing? Oh yeah, we're in.
I got suggested to sit down and shut up.
Yes.
It's only going to work for 6 seconds.
No, it works longer. Well, it technically works longer than that.
Suggestion works for 8 hours.
As long as I'm concentrating, it can work for up to 8 hours.
I just
Technically-
watched
I know
it.
you're just staring
Technically,
at
okay,
it.
hold on. For clarification.
Clarification.
Clarification. That is now going to be a word.
Clarification.
Well, yeah, because you're the cleric of knowledge. So
Yeah.
clarification.
So, I suggest a course of activity and magically influence a creature I can see within range that can hear and understand me. Creatures that can't be charmed or immune. Suggestion must be worded in a manner to make it reasonable. So I can't suggest you stab yourself, throw yourself onto a spear, stuff like that. On a failed save, creature pursues the course of action you describe to the best of its ability. The suggested course of action can continue for the entire duration. If the suggested activity can be completed in a shorter time, the spell ends when the subject finishes what it was asked to do.
So it's over, because I sat down and shut up.
That's fair.
I was
but
gonna ask you that question because I was just watching a D&D thing, and they told her to surrender. And if she dropped her stuff and surrendered, she did it, right?
Yeah,
So
she
then
could
she
pick it back up and
then
attack again.
next turn she could pick it up and attack again, according to the way the spell works.
yes.
Yep.
So, the very old, pale man is getting noisy as old men can get with Jace, and
You know, Dennis, things can get really loud.
Do you want to sit on my lap?
I understand that
That's even worse.
this
Like
just
I said,
happened.
I get really loud. So.
We will look into this. As for right now,
Now every time I see Dennis, I'm going,
the city will help pay to rebuild.
yeah, I know, but I'm gonna see that every time I see him. I'm gonna be. Sorry.
It's okay. Seriously thinking about Dennis?
Ew.
Jace says the city will help rebuild Viscopa Bank.
What's up, Booze?
Hello, Booze. Hey, friend. The city will help rebuild Viscopa Bank. We will get other guilds to participate. We don't want other guilds touching Viscopa Bank. We can handle it.
And how are you going to exchange their money?
Like, Ulrich climbing into his lap, standing on his thighs, and going,
And he looks over and he says, Orzova is sacred ground, and Orzova includes Viscopa Bank. It will be handled by Orzova.
And why are you asking Azurius to help?
I am not asking Azorius anything. I am asking Jace to get to the bottom of this and remove the Gruul clan.
Isn't that help?
DM, I am doing what I just said,
Okay.
climbing up on him and going,
Just bury him with your bosom.
And he looks back at Jace and he says, remove the Gruul clan from the city. They are clearly...
He's acting like a petulant child.
I have.
I'm not going to shush.
If I may, how can you be sure that it was in fact Gruul?
They've assaulted other parts of the city with their siege engines. I'm sure it came from them.
And hasn't it been
Well, it could be is it the goblins hang out with them too. And he looks over at
I
the...
take offense to that. We would not attack you like that. It's the Gruul that would have done that, and we're trying to get to the bottom of it ourselves.
Shut up, tin can.
You want to find out who did it? I'm not going to shut up.
I have a question. So if Jace is supposed to be on top of it and he's working on it, you do realize the more you sit here and talk to him and tell him to get on top of it, you're keeping him from getting on top of it, right?
And he looks back at Jace. It's simple. Sign Gruul out of the guild pact. Declare them an enemy of the city. Turn the guilds down to 9.
I don't believe it was the Gruul.
And who are you?
Somebody who might know.
Did you send the goblin crater into the bank?
Why would I send a goblin crater into your bank?
You obviously know what happened, it sounds like.
Well, we were there.
And
When it
Jace...
happened.
I'm gonna gesture at like all of the cuts and scrapes we have.
While you guys, some of you are talking to this creep, a few of you, if you're not talking, you might have noticed that Jace has recently closed his eyes. And within moments of this argument happening, you hear some heavy footsteps coming down, and Lavinia shows up, and she's, get out of here. And the Orzov individuals look back at her. I'm playing like 4 characters right now.
It's
Split
not
personality.
that I have voices in my head, it's all the NPCs talking at once.
Right.
So,
You're doing good, Ben.
Lavinia says, he is busy, you will leave. And she draws a sword.
Ooh.
And the vampire knight reaches for his.
Oh, do it. I want to see this.
And the Orzhov patriarch there, he puts his hand on the vampire's shoulder, and he shakes his head. He points at Jace. Solve this problem. Figure out what happened, or remove the gruel from the charter. And they walk out the door. And you hear, I will not stand for this, and he keeps walking away.
No,
The
you're walking
second
for
that
it.
the vampire put his hand on his sword, my holy symbol was halfway out of my sleeve.
Okay.
Like,
And you guys probably noticed that.
Well, we already know she doesn't like vampires, so.
I was crossing my fingers.
right?
We learned some interesting
I
stuff.
see this, I want to see this, I want to see this.
Oh, that was interesting.
Turn undead.
Like I said, the raid last time, I had to rewrite parts of the story, and I just made it work. So
Maybe it works.
Um,
You did a good job.
Part of the job?
they walk away, and Lavinia closes the door, and she's out. And she's not in the room with you. And Jace says, sorry. Where were
I was
we?
having fun. I was making him so angry.
And Lavinia wonders why I'm not here all the time.
I wouldn't want to be here either if I.
Well, we learned.
This city is falling apart.
So your question was, have we figured out what we're attached to? I see green and black energies. What colors did you see?
I know for sure white, and I believe it was also blue.
Okay. To effectively draw mana at such a young phase, if you're seeing black pulsations, you gather mana from death, from the unliving, from...
so much mana at the bank.
You can only carry so much, too.
So I've noticed. It's also difficult.
On top of that, if you happen to find a ley line, it's easier to pull mana at a ley line, but they're hidden to the eye. You have to know.
I'm going to close my eyes,
Mhm.
and I'm going to meditate real quick and see.
In this room, you see nothing.
It's not that I don't see anything here. My brain just had a thought.
Okay.
Ley line. Gilpack would make sense that he's on top of ley lines.
Give me 1 second, because I need to
I
look at
thought that's
something.
where your brain was going. You're going to try to imagine just trying to find where the ley line is.
Reach out and see if there's,
I don't like
if there's
that.
an intersection of ley lines
He
here.
was annoying. He was kind of a dick.
Kind of.
Okay, he was that this up.
I mean, he was a
Understatement, but
gave us some good information.
Roll me percentile.
But
I know he wasn't
2.
standing for it.
0, 2.
2.
You don't see that.
I mean, if I did it the other direction, it's 200.
hush.
This is something I need to figure out exactly where this was. I don't think this exists anymore. Maybe it does. So give me a second.
Mm-hmm. I'm asking questions.
Is the ink sleeping out in your skin?
No, I think
No,
it
because
goes
it's
back
how-
to it goes back to normal once I'm done playing with it.
Some of
And
that.
it's only when I pull it that it does this.
Heat. You're creating friction. It's entropy because of heat.
That makes sense because the second I put it back in, it goes back to normal.
Oh, that would be
Because
what it
otherwise
is.
I'd have ink all over my
When
hands.
we do find out, we should make him pay us for the information. Seeing as they're so fond of getting people to pay them.
I like that idea too. We'll extort them.
Ways to mess. Yeah, that won't piss anybody off. Let's extort a vampire. Good
You
idea.
know, they might actually respect
I'm okay
that,
with that.
though.
I like that idea. I mean,
Let's extortive
re-kill them.
Re-kill them?
This is where I would do that. They can destroy me
The
absolutely.
entertainers, the group, are just like, how can we make money off the old
The charlatans?
irritating people?
that what I am? Yeah, I'm a charlatan.
You say, do you both have a charlatan
Are you charlatan too?
background?
I'm entertained.
She's the
Excuse me.
entertainer. I'm a charlatan. So yeah,
I'm an acolyte.
she went extort, and I went, yes.
Right.
I'm a hermit.
And I'm also
Okay.
the long.
Well, that makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
With the 2, I'm going to kind of give you some credence here.
Okay.
As you close your eyes and think for a moment, and Jace is entertaining the rest of everybody else, you see as just in the flash of less than a second, you see this white shine of light under your feet. And if you had to give your best rough guess, it kind of appeared and left.
Right.
And it, from where you're sitting, as you look around, you're pretty sure that rush of light went southeast.
Okay.
And he looks, and then you stop concentrating, and ley lines help you find mana, or help you absorb mana better. But seeing those black pulsations in with your spark, you pull from the forces of death, from the unliving, from the rotten, from the unclean. I know it sounds disgusting, but there is plenty of energy there.
Considering the horde of zombies we fought when we were in the Undercity, plus all the goblins,
We fought a horde of zombies.
Yeah.
they kind of just appeared out of
There
nowhere.
was a whole bunch of zombies that showed up, and then we saw the Orzhov symbol after we defeated all of them.
Yeah,
Really?
we've been kind of busy.
We've managed to piss a lot of people off.
And we haven't been in the city for very long.
He made that comment to me when we talked in my head.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think the word we should use is oops.
we also found out the name of the demon that's been causing issues with the Rakdos.
Oh, what is it?
Ilmaline.
Ilmaline.
He quickly scribbles that down, and I'll have Lavinia look into this.
I do apologize for my outburst against that old ghost dude, but he
Well-
was acting like such a petulant child.
That was Karlov's.
Oh,
Karlov's.
recognize that name.
That would have been Teysa at one point.
Who?
Oh, I guess you don't know who Teysa Karlov is.
Isn't
Oh.
the one that had no head the statue?
No head?
Yeah, in the bank there was a because I think that was her name because there was a name that was scraped out and the statue had no head and this ghost guy came up and told us about
Take a
her.
deal.
Yeah.
Was it female? Was it a woman?
Female.
It would not be beneath them to remove a statue's head. Was it a short name?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and her first name is scratched out.
Yeah, they probably. That's Teysa Karlov.
That sounds like the name of the ghost.
And he I know the doors. The door. You guys are in a closed room, but he sort of looks around, even in his room. And he kind of gets a little bit closer towards you guys, and he says, "There was a point in time," whispering for the stage. There was a point in time where I had tried to help Teysa overthrow the Obsidat,
Ah.
and they caught her. She's imprisoned. We can't really do anything about it now.
So would it really piss them off if she vanished?
I strongly suggest you don't try to find her.
I know, but the idea
I
of
can't
causing
stop you.
mayhem.
I can't stop the guild from killing you.
Yeah, I'd
So,
like to live.
Let's kind of
I
digress
choose
here a
life.
little
I
bit,
choose life.
or go
Anyway.
back to why is it that I'm
That's
here?
not the
We're getting there. Now live on this train. Teysa used to be the she used to be the envoy for her grandfather Karlov. Same family name. Karlov is the head spirit of the Obsidat.
Oh,
So that person and his vampire that were in this room, that would have been Tessa, and she would have had more class than they did.
Wouldn't take much.
She would have had any class versus that.
But since Tessa is no longer a free woman, they have to resort to other individuals running the Obsedets. The Obsedet are immortal, but they can't leave where they are. So they have envoys do their bidding.
Oh, no wonder I guess they're stuck.
So, anyway, that's that situation. You guys are here because there's something going around destroying planes.
Whole planes, not just.
Whole planes. And
Woke up this
we need more trained planeswalkers to help.
So you're looking for a Silver Surfer.
A Silver Surfer? We need more planeswalkers to help. I have a large network of friends,
In low places.
associates.
Because a lot
There's
of
a
people
really
don't.
big question
Because
mark.
I mean, considering some of the people we've met have said they don't like him.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who said they
Yeah.
There's a lot of planeswalkers in the multiverse, and they seem to be growing, as you two prove. And some other of you might still become planeswalkers yet.
Huh?
The spark doesn't always develop right away.
You have a chance at a one.
I will bite your kneecaps.
You are underdeveloped.
Either way,
You're just a late bloomer.
at the moment, if you didn't suddenly disappear like they did, then you either don't have one or it hasn't been activated yet.
I think I want to know what will activate it. If being dumped into an entire different plane of dimension wouldn't do it.
Well, you guys have already traveled a couple planes.
Yes.
That we have.
Yeah, the first time.
Speaking of, tell me a little bit more. I will get to the thing I promise. Tell me a little bit more about that prison you guys were in.
No, the book.
Yeah, what book?
Basically, if I can paraphrase shortly, it was a magical artifact that turned a dream into reality, and we were stuck in that dream.
If I
She's the only one who actually saw the book physically.
No.
No, you already.
all saw
Yeah,
the
she
book.
brought to the bar.
And
they didn't see it until.
Well, no,
until
you
the
didn't
open.
bring it.
Randall.
Thank you, Randall did.
But the other key, wasn't there like some sort of demon or whatever?
A demon.
yes, the book itself was enchanted by some sort of spirit that was using these dreams as some sort of food source, energy source, and it was Randall who was caught up by this.
Yes.
We eventually found the constructs that were giving energy to this, destroyed them, and were shunted out of that plane. We don't know if it destroyed the plane of existence, but at the very least we were shunted out of it.
So was it a pocket dimension? Did it exist on its own?
That is a
believe so,
wonderful
yes.
word. I have no idea what it means.
And he looks at Andrest. You think so?
I believe so.
Kind of isolated. It didn't have connection to any other planes that you could tell.
It did.
It
When
it
it-
did, because somebody kept saying that it had pieces of another world, started with an E.
no,
Yes, the dragonborn that was there with us, he vanished and he did not come to. He was
I
from a different
I
realm.
believe it was supposed to be like a mirror of another realm, but it itself was not.
So
However,
depending on who you spoke to in this place, it had an amalgam of at least two different places, or it was something that was put together because of residents of two places in the same location.
but
Could the book and whatever was attached to the book have followed Randall here?
I don't think
If
so.
it was shunted like we were,
But I thought we killed it, because that was Queen Remedy.
We can assume she's dead, but when what appeared to be the final blow was landed, everything kind of went belly up.
We have no idea what actually happened. I mean, I doubt we would have been able to actually fully kill the thing with our limited capabilities at the time.
Limited capabilities.
For dealing with interplanar craziness?
Okay, but the other reason why I believe it might have been a pocket dimension and not an actual, physical plane is I had a very difficult time connecting with my deity. Whereas
That does make sense.
I do not have the same issue here.
I'm not attached to a higher power, so I wouldn't know.
Where would you propose this book ended up?
It may still be in wherever we actually started off at. You'd originally said, we had said
That is
Waterdeep.
correct. It
Okay.
is Waterdeep, yeah.
Yeah.
Where, do you know the name of that plane?
The Sword
It
Coast.
would be Sword Coast,
The Sword Coast.
which exists on, I can't remember the name of the planet.
Right?
I'll look into that. There's got to be
I want to
news
say,
of it somewhere.
I want to say the Forgotten Realm.
I forgot one.
Okay.
Yeah, the Forgotten Realms.
Okay.
What was the name of the,
Yeah.
of the dimension that the weird
Faerun.
thing was based off
It is Faerun?
Well, Forgotten Realms or Faerun.
Because the Dragonborn that we were with mentioned
The-
it a couple of times.
While you guys were talking, there's a knock on the door and it
It's
opens.
that old dude.
No,
Western
it's a knock on the
Archives,
door.
West Faerun.
It is somebody you recognize. It is another planeswalker. It is Chandra, with the red hair and the goggles and the gauntlets.
Ginger is here.
And
Look at
she kind of saunters in. She looks self-satisfied, and she goes, "What do you need?" And Jace says,
Why did you give it to me?
"Have you heard of Forgotten Realm or Waterdeep,
Faerun.
Faerun?" I don't think so. Why? There's something I need you to find over there.
Yeah, I know. He said that.
Okay, what? And he looks back at you guys. Describe the book.
Big, heavy, golden tome with really, really fancy etching and I think jewels on it, right? And it glows when you open it. It's not
She's giving an awful lot of detail for somebody who is standing on the other side of the bar on the stage.
You guys complained about it enough that I know what it looks like.
So he's absorbing this information. Do you have more information, Andrest? What was it? Was the book written in?
Sorry, it's been a while. If I recall correctly, there was writing in it, but it was in a language I could not read, correct?
Okay.
Which is odd for me, as I can read and speak 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different languages.
Okay. Chandra, go
I
to
still speak the best too.
try to find this plane with Waterdeep as a city, and search for the book. I have a feeling it could come in handy. She goes, "Whatever you say, boss." And
I
she,
don't see Chandra saying whatever you say, guys.
trust me, there's a reason. So
Unless there's a little bit of sarcasm behind it.
there's probably a little bit of sarcasm.
Okay,
behind
good.
it. She flips her hair and she turns around, and she,
Oh, and Gabby's not even here.
you see, just like when you saw her the first time, she kind of puts her arms together, and she sort of buckles down for a second, and then there's this great big, it's not hot, but this great big flame, and she's gone.
Twinkle her nose real quick.
No.
She is the planeswalker of fire.
Yep.
She is the red
I'm just saying
planeswalker.
that.
And he looks back at you guys, and she's a member of Gatewatch. They're my only friends, actual friends.
She's pretty.
Just like Teferi, we're all Gatewatch members. We're trying to save the multiverse. There's been a lot of stuff that's happened.
Have you ever heard of the Avengers?
We avenged the Lost Plains. So that brings me back to my point. I am willing to help you guys become more trained planeswalkers, but I need your help. There is, while all this stuff's going down in the city, there is another plane out there that it's where I would be sending you is a sanctuary. It is a plane with only one connection to Ravnica. Or, I'm sorry, only one connection now. It had two. Its refugees that still exist have gone to this sanctuary plane, and the home plane appears to have been destroyed. So, for a different reason, this sanctuary plane is in danger, and I have a feeling it's something you guys can handle. Give me insight.
All of us?
No, just Xanthid, because when you were traveling through the Nameless Eternities, or the Eternities, the Blind Eternities, thank you. You didn't catch it, but he did. What's your insight?
My insight would be an 18.
Something in your gut tells you this is connected to that, which I don't know if you ever described it or not, to the party. You did?
Oh no, not to the party, but I did ask Nissa and one other person about. The leader of the. Is it?
Well, Ralzer.
Yeah, Ralzer. I mentioned seeing him in the Blind Eternities.
Okay. You have a feeling, you're putting two and two together here, that you do remember hearing some woman crying out the word help as you sort of zoom back to Ravnica. And then you come back to, and Jace is still talking about, I don't know the full story, but I can teach you how to get there. And, yes?
I might have a hint.
What's your hint?
When I was returning from the Blind Eternities, I saw something strange and I heard something strange.
Is that when we brought Nine back?
It was either when we brought 9 back or when I was coming back on my own. I don't remember which one off the top of my head. I heard a woman cry for help.
A woman's voice. Well, that would match up.
And I saw some really strange looking dragon thing with a big circle on his head.
And you can sense instant recognition when you say that. And Jace looks down for a moment. So you know more than I thought you did.
I don't know anything. I just know what I saw.
You said you don't know what you know.
I have a very strong suspicion that dragon that you saw is involved. That
Somebody
dragon...
said his name to me once.
That dragon is possibly the oldest planeswalker to exist.
What is his name? Nissa said his name. What was his name?
If you're talking about the dragon I know, it would be Nicol Bolas.
Yeah, that's the name.
If you see him...
Run.
Run.
Yeah, that's what Nissa said.
Well, as much as I don't like Nissa right now, that's true. She is correct.
So you guys ever gonna kiss and make up? Because y'all planeswalkers should probably get together and try and work on these problems.
Gatewatch is already limited as it is, and she chose to leave after I made a choice.
Why is Gatewatch limited?
Because not many planeswalkers are interested in the helping acts of others. They're interested in their own powers.
Huh. So it's not so much kiss and make up as people need to grow up.
So, are there any planeswalkers we need to avoid if we see them?
Not necessarily, I guess. I mean,
Like,
there's very many, and their ranks are growing every day. But if I had to give you another name to look out for besides Nicol, it would be Tezzeret. Tezzeret is another planeswalker who's an artificer, and he is on Nicol's side, and he is incredibly dangerous too.
Lovely.
I almost killed him.
Just say
Would
Zeke.
Zeke have any information about Tezzeret or knowledge?
No.
I was
Tezzeret's
just
sort of
thinking
unknown.
because of the little bit of crossover with the physics studies.
Right now, I could tell you the Gatewatch is composed of 7, besides myself, or 7 total. If you find planeswalkers by the names of Gideon, Chandra, Nissa,
I thought Nissa wasn't in Gatewatch.
Yeah, I thought you just said she left.
she's not. I forgot. I'm so used to saying her name. She left. You're right.
Apologies.
Ajani, Teferi, and Kaya.
Really? I mean, that's out of character.
Yeah,
really.
yeah, really.
I want to be the Johnny.
And I have to leave the city on my own business. If you guys return to Ravnica here or there, you must not let the guilds know. I'm sure the guilds will all know, or most of them will know when I'm here and when I'm not. But the more people that know that I'm not in the city know that the guild pact is not enforceable. So I highly suggest that you keep that information to yourselves while I'm gone.
I know.
How do we get to this other plane that you want us to scope out?
I will give you the details of it, and I will help you get there the first time. Once you get there and you're familiar with Ravnica, you should be able to go back and forth as you need. But being as...
They can bring us.
Are we going to be able to bring the rest of these, our friends?
I can help bring them there, but until you understand your powers better, you won't be able to bring more than maybe yourself and one person at a time.
Oh, so we'll just have to kind of bounce back and forth. Gotcha.
And at your young stage, it will take at least a day to recuperate each time.
So if
Yeah.
one of us can bring someone back, and then when that person returns, then we can bring the other two.
We can bring 2 at a time, take a day to rest, take the other 2, and we can do it in 2 days.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I was thinking we had 5, but we have 6.
You said green, by the way.
Yeah,
That comes from light, like
plants.
plant life, flora, fauna. Even some animals can produce green.
Mm-hmm.
That green sort of life, nature energy. You will feel in tune with nature. As for seeing white, your drawing of mana comes from the air itself. It'll be very light in content of your mana until you find a ley line or you do a lot of it, because it's everywhere. You will find yourself more powerful in sunny areas, being able to get a direct line to the sun and the
And
air.
what about you then?
That's like me, water, or the energy of... I know this sounds weird, but the energy of knowledge.
The
You're-
knowledge cleric.
You're able to tap mana from
You can get knowledge. You can get mana from books.
from libraries, from scrolls.
Andras looks visibly like excited, like
You
like
just gave the bookworm
enemy
the
sparkle
ultimate.
Yeah.
eyes.
You just gave the bookworm the ultimate reason to go into the library.
Not only can you feel good about reading a book, but you can also charge your mana that way too.
You can also feel good about reading a book.
Yes. And none of you really described seeing red.
I think
I'm guessing that has to do with fire.
Fire, elements, battle, the energy of war. You'll have to find your own ways, and eventually, as you grow in power, you'll be able to pull mana from any source, just in limited quantities.
Cool.
So, I didn't notice you had that on your nose.
Oh my god, Taya.
I've had it on my face for like 2 minutes. Oh no!
So,
She's exfoliating.
Oh no!
Not stuck to her nose.
I don't know if I want that back now.
It wasn't in her nostrils.
No.
it might find its it might find its way there.
Taya, now I can dab it.
Also, Taya, the oil on your face probably isn't good for it.
Well, the reason why your hands will stick afterwards is because it takes all the oil off your hands.
So, are you?
Removing oil from your face.
Right.
This choice is yours.
But the stuff
Do you want to do this realm thing?
If it,
Or if you're finding ties to the city, you don't have to. But
I got no ties here yet.
You've been here a week.
Got no ties yet. Except for this
If,
guy.
And I
if
see-
we're not off it, if we're not in this plane, I won't have to worry about the deer trying to kick my ass.
That's true.
And I won't have to worry about the Raktos person trying to come find me.
Okay.
You might as well check it out just for shiggles.
We're here a week and
Yeah,
Well, and I'll
maybe-
make this offer to you
Maybe she and I will get stronger.
as you two develop over this next course of however long this takes.
But the puberty,
If you come back as stronger planeswalkers, I may offer you a spot on Gatewatch.
Something to consider.
Both of you. And if the other of you develop the spark, then you too. So,
I'm like,
Come on, Spark. Come on, Spark. Come on, Spark. Come on, Spark.
do you guys want to do
You
this?
just wanted me to Johnny
Might
now.
as well.
well, yeah.
Right?
And okay, Xanthip says yes, but this is everybody gets a
Yes.
voice.
Yes.
Okay.
I pretty much said yes when I said I wouldn't have to deal with it.
Right.
But I mean,
And he looks at Andrast. Is this something you want to do? Okay.
I said yes.
Okay.
It's just the halfling is louder than my
Most of us.
delicate elf voice.
Okay.
do some
Delicate
vocal
elf.
exercises then.
The delicate elf is also the Bible thumper.
He puts both of his hands out, and he says, "Everyone should join hands."
Hang on. Here, take this.
And Darian's like,
I made sure that she's between Katarina and
I
Andrast.
hate you.
So I'll take Jason's hand.
I'll take the other hand.
No, I wouldn't look
Caitlin
like
goes
that.
to do it, and then somebody else is. Caitlin's like, "Oh." And he closes his eyes, and all of you feel this lurch in your stomach, and in this blue sweep of like a wave of water, comes over, and suddenly the chamber is gone. For Andrast and Xanthip, this is somewhat familiar. You're in this dark abyss.
Oh
I'm going
god.
to pay attention this time.
Okay.
I'm doing my best to watch what's going on too. I know that it's
For the
weird,
three
but-
of you, this makes you slightly sick. This, like,
Still better than the elevator.
Oh god, not again.
and we are going to start our break and see
Yeah.
what happens
That's
after
all
that.
right. Wow.
Yeah.
So, all right, we will be back in 3's break, right? I'm just
3
getting ready.
days.
I'm not ready yet.
3
Okay.
days break.
We will be back in about a half an hour, and we will see what happens next.
See you guys soon.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in about 30 minutes.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi everyone, I'm Turkey. I'm from the Grouch Couch. We're a D&D variety channel, and we add a lot of shenanigans into our show. If you hang out long enough, I promise that we'll make you laugh.
Hi, I'm DM Thaco from Dragons in the Dining Room. We quite literally stream D&D from our dining room. A variety D&D show where we also have a talk show on Mondays. If you hang out with us, you may even be able to influence our show. Welcome to the dining room.
Hey guys, I'm Joe from Joe Dirt. If you guys like homebrew, some table talks, some mini campaigns, why don't you go on Jump in the Hole and throw me a follow. See you there.
Hi, my name is Sprinkles. I'm from Spooky Sprinkles, and I paint cute and spooky paintings and patches. And so if you want to come watch a really wholesome art stream, come hang out with me.
Hi, I'm the Lich. I like short and hot live-action gameplays. Think you can survive the dungeon and earn the shirt? Come by on Tuesdays. Or if you dig mutant apocalypses, hit the road with Agent Spooky's Apocalypse Roadshow on Saturday.
And we are Kiro approved.
What happened to 5?
I said this. Hello, welcome back to Dragons of the Dining Room. We are returning from break for our Wanderers game. Yay! The group had successfully found their way to the Chamber of the Guild Pack, and Jace had explained a whole bunch of their questions, and also sent them on a new mission.
And I made a ghost mad at me.
Huh?
And I made a ghost mad at me.
Amongst the ranks of things you've made mad in the span of 5 days, you can include ghosts.
So hang on, let's see if we can list this here.
Yeah, start writing the list of everybody that
An assassin,
Xanthip's already pissed off.
ghost,
A demon cult.
a demon cult,
My rival.
your rival, a demon in another plane of existence.
Start writing down.
Keep your list of enemies close.
I know lots of things. Hey, Jaden, good to see you.
And then, by the time we're out of Ravnica, even for a little bit, you're gonna have at least one guild completely pissed off.
I'll work on it. Oh, actually, I think I might have one guild mad at me. The Demir. What did I just do?
Oh, you have a couple people mad.
Well, at some point,
I'm the
So
reason
why
she's
is-
got her missive saying she's not part of the Demir anymore.
We'll see.
so why are you guys kicked out of Ravnica? Ravnica hates us. Like, just a couple people know, like, the whole of the plane hates us.
So, Kaylin, Katarina, and Allure, roll percentile.
I'm working on it, Axel. I'm working on it.
I can't find the other. There it is.
Where's the 5?
0-2? Just like he rolled? Okay.
21.
52.
Okay.
Or 502.
502?
Yes, 502.
Okay. You're traveling through this dark plane, and really there's no sense of direction besides the way your gut is
That's
being pulled.
fucked up.
Again?
I rolled it. I just re-rolled it, and I rolled 2 again.
That's a very unlikely thing to happen.
What?
Oh, I need to
1 in 10,000. Okay. So Andrest and Xanthip are a little more familiar with this feeling. It's a little more manageable. But the three of you, totally disorienting. The only thing that's guiding the way you're going is like that when you're moving in darkness, you can feel a pull in your gut. You guys are being pulled left, right. And the ride only lasts for maybe about 45 seconds. And you have no frame of reference for where you're going. There's no stars, you're not in space, there's no landmarks, it's just dark.
Which is different from when we first went through, before we went through the Ravnica portal, everything was white,
Yep.
isn't it? But it's the same nothingness, just black.
Sort of, and you, yeah, I mean, sort of.
Like that, for the only frame of reference that
I guess
you would
for
have.
for Allure and for Kaylin, it's somewhat similar to something you've done before.
Oh, this is annoyingly similar.
Yeah, I see that. But you have the feeling of travel here, whereas when you went to Ivalis, there was only a quick here and there. You know you're moving, you just can't tell where. And after 45 seconds or so,
Why me?
Because of your quote.
You know, that's actually like perfect timing. Perfect timing. Teamwork, Krabby, teamwork.
And for a brief second after that short minute of travel, you get that wave of what appears to be water again, and you lose sight of your friends for just a moment. And then you are, as the water evaporates and fades away, you are on the ground, safely. The 7 of you, the 6 of you including Jace, still all sort of holding hands. And you are in, for the first time in a week, somewhere that's not a city. You're in this nature sort of area. It is just grass, trees. It is not, okay, so it is not like overtly verdantly green like when you went to the, where you believe was the Fae.
Okay.
You're not there.
Are we on Endor?
No. It's not jungly, it's very open.
Okay.
You see to your left, there is a small town, a village, more of a town. There are cobblestone, stone buildings. It's not concrete. It's not developed. It's
You can actually scratch your back on these.
it's young. It's medieval, and all the liberties you had just in Ravnica are gone. You see short cobblestone walls. It's very European. It's very Scotland kind of deal. And the sky feels, the air feels fresh. You see very few clouds in the sky. It's a bright yellow sun, blue sky to a point. And just beyond your, almost beyond your field of view, you can see this. You can see a white background to the blue. So the blue fades into a white.
As in, it reaches.
It seems
or
to.
As in, it continues, but it turns white.
It seems, from your point of view, it seems like if you were adjusting opacity, you have full blue around you, but as you look out in the distance, it starts to fade into just solid white.
Okay.
And it seems to be that way in all directions, although at varying points. So, and as your eyes bring you down, everyone do perception.
Dirty 20.
Allure.
Wow.
Caitlin.
Passive of 12.
Andress.
Passive 16.
Okay. This side of the table, except for Allure, so I guess Katarina and Xanthip.
I can't roll for my perceptions tonight.
That fade to white in the sky as you bring your eyes down seems to follow, like there's a border or an edge at a certain point. And Jace, everyone lets go of each other's hands, and Jace sort of sits down for a moment, and you can see a sort of pulsating, entering. It's from the ground. It seems to enter him, and
I'm going to try the same thing.
Go ahead.
I want to try the same thing.
Okay.
Mana connection.
What's on your sheet for mana?
None.
You have 0.
I have 0 at the moment.
Andrast?
1 white.
Okay. Okay. Both of you roll percentile.
Oof. 38.
31.
38, 31? Okay. Andrast, you sit down and you try to do this. From what you're seeing Jace do, you're trying to feel. As you close your eyes and you get your mind's eye open in this area, you get this gray overlay of what you're seeing. And yes, the sky is white color, but you feel as if you can't contain any more right now.
Gotcha.
As for you, when you enter this mind's eye, Xanthip, you can see the grass sort of glow for you a little bit, and you feel a small pull into your fingers, but it doesn't feel significant. And the two of you stop, and Jace is obviously in meditation. When you look around, you realize that, like I said, just off to the side there, you're in a sort of medieval town, and you're at the edge of it. And there are a few people as they walk around. There's humans, half-elves, it's all races you're familiar with. But the mood is very dour. Of the people you see, nobody seems like they're smiling, and nobody seems like that they really want to talk to each other.
We're in Barovia.
Oh God.
You're in bright Barovia.
Sunny Barovia.
It's always sunny in Barovia.
Yeah, you just can't see it.
It's always foggy in Barovia.
So, with Jace meditating, I can't ask him a question. I really need to ask him this question.
Oh, sorry, Axel. Oh.
Third 24 hours
Yeah.
this week.
He's
That
been talking
makes my
about it for the
teeth
last 3
hurt.
days.
Oh.
My question is do we have to follow Order 1 from the Prime Directive?
Right? Hey, Radio Man.
Hey, Radio Man.
I still say 1 year we all need to dress up in Star Trek uniforms and go to Renfest as an away mission.
I would do that.
That'd be fun.
We have the Star Trek uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
We even have a spare.
If I could, I think I would try and do Odo.
Yes, Odo's awesome.
Either that or Q.
Yeah.
Those are my two favorites.
Q is such chaotic energy.
I love Q.
He was
Oh, Q is one of the best characters.
Right?
Okay. A few moments pass as you gather your surroundings.
I'm just waiting for Jace.
Yep, and you see the energy start to stop around him, and he opens his eyes and he says, "Welcome to Sanctuary."
Not a happy place.
No, it's not. And he looks over inside the town, and he puts his hand forward to seemingly nothing, and then he beckons what seems like nothing. And just a mere second or two later, from the direction he was pointing down from across a building, there is a red-haired female, young half-elf. She approaches. She is wearing just traveling clothes. They seem to be in decent shape. They seem to be of reds and pinks.
What is with us meeting redheads?
I know, it's the third one. Or is it Risa? We'll find out.
I am in so much trouble with Teresa.
She approaches and she bows, and Jace bows back. She says to Xanthip and Andrast and the party, "This is Talia. She needs your help." Now, I'm going to let her explain what to do, but I want to explain to the planeswalkers among you. If you want to return to Ravnica,
I wanted it to hit us. In the rain.
Andrast,
Yes.
and Xanthip,
I'm listening.
if you want to return to Ravnica, you have to have some form of mana inside of you. You have to have absorbed some mana. And you have to sit down. You have to envision a familiar place in Ravnica. It could be the Chamber. It could be Nivix. It could be anywhere you're familiar with already. And then you put your mind's eye back in Ravnica and channel your mana. It should bring you and one other person back. And you can do the same here once you've been here for a little while. Time that passes here will also pass in Ravnica. It's the same thing. So if you're here for 4 days, it'll be 4 days later in the city.
What if time passes differently? Like, are there planes that where time
Yes.
passes?
But luckily, this is... I know this is probably going to be scary to you guys. This is a pocket dimension.
Not again!
But
Unless
it's
you
not a
just
prison.
visibly
You're
twitch.
able to go in and out.
Is that
So-
why this place looks so weird?
Yes and no. It looks so... Well, I'll let Talia explain. She has more information. But yes, this is... The reason it's called Sanctuary is because it's a retreat. And I'll let Talia take over. Do you have any more questions for me, not regarding here?
No, I think we've got what we need for the time being. What are you going to be doing?
I have to travel to a different plane. I cannot tell you what I'm doing right now.
Sounds familiar.
Okay,
But
Aaron.
since you know of Nicol Bolas is involved, I have to find out what he's doing before he makes a move that I think he's making.
Good luck.
Thank you. Good luck for you. This should be okay.
And in the back of a certain young person's mind, will you have my babies?
No! Wait.
Can I have your babies?
There we go.
I said what I meant to.
You want to be my baby?
If that does it, I am going to leave.
Okay, bye.
Okay.
Stay safe.
And he disappears in that wave of blue.
Bye, bye,
Okay,
bye,
bye-bye.
bye.
So Talia puts her hand out in a welcoming fashion to you, like you want to grab her hand. And she bows to you. What is your name?
I am Xantha.
And she looks around.
Hello.
Cat.
Your name is Kat.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's appropriate.
Cat and catnip.
And she looks at Andrest.
Yes.
How's the food?
You give her the zoomies.
And then she crashes. Kaylin.
And Zeke. I'm sure he has something funny to say.
Insert funny
Yeah.
phrase here.
Either insert funny or insert inappropriate.
Right?
And she
Insert
says,
inappropriate joke here.
"Who's in charge here?"
I'll be in
Nobody?
charge.
Nobody? Everybody? Depends on the situation.
Depends on the day.
The answer is
Depends on
yes.
whose expertise is best served to be leader at the moment.
Jace has answered my summons. We need help. This is Sanctuary. This is a retreat. My father was a very powerful wizard, and he dabbled in artificing, and he created this place. This was, for him specifically, in case anything ever happened, it was a place for him to run to.
Hence retreat.
But it turns out that our entire plane was threatened by a golden dragon.
Oh.
And
Golden dragon.
yes, and he has distinguished horns. The golden dragon started to sacrifice the most powerful among us, so my dad started bringing people here. And before we knew it, it was too late. And we can't go home. Home is gone.
Home is not Ravnica?
No.
Where is home?
It was... You had to ask me that question.
I did.
In the wheel turns.
The wheel weaves as the wheel wills.
It was
What
a
is up, TT2KB?
Hello!
Hey.
Good to see you.
It was a plane known as Forta.
I have not heard of that.
It's gone now. It's gone. And most of the people I knew are gone too. So we're trapped here. I suppose, we could leave this place and go to Ravnica, but I can't. I am bound to this place. It was an unintentional design by my father, but I am stuck here. So if this place gets destroyed, so will I. And other people are here because they choose to be. A lot of people have tried to flee to Ravnica and they find it difficult to get off the plane. What I'm asking for is my dad, who was the artificer who built this plane, built a defender. And this defender is a construct. It is a golem of some sort.
It's okay, I'm not a flesh golem murderer.
It's not a flesh golem. It's made of metal and magic.
We're all gonna look at Zeke.
It doesn't look like, well, it's kind of like him. Uh-oh. People in town may not appreciate Zeke as much.
Is there a way you can disguise this shiny butt?
They look different enough, but they might associate Zeke.
And that's why, so is there a way to disguise his shiny butt?
You'll just have to explain that he's not related.
Anybody
But-
have a disguise kit?
I don't think we can use a simple disguise kit to make him look normal.
The Guardian...
Anybody have a hat of disguise?
All I have is my illusion.
This Guardian goes by the name Zan.
Zan?
Zan.
We're not related, I promise.
That's why we call you Catnip.
It is XAN, just like your name too.
We are not related,
So this
I
is
promise.
so this is our metal construct and a guy named Xanthip.
We're gonna be welcome with open arms. Lost child.
I did not consent to this.
We're gonna be welcomed with open arms.
Knock, knock, knock on heaven's door.
That didn't quite look like Thomas.
Hang on one second,
It's
Stream.
probably Thomas.
We have a guest.
No. Ding Dong Ditcher, maybe?
Who still does that in 2020?
So who
Stupid
freaking
kids.
quarantine does weird things to people? Listen.
Everything okay, Joe?
What did he say?
Yeah, just a moment.
Oh, okay.
No,
No,
it
it
looks
wasn't
like a teenage boy with a baseball cap on.
Anyway.
A friend of mine when he was really underground.
Actually, I'm gonna go for Joe.
I'm going to do this in a moment. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'll be a moment, so go ahead.
Okay.
Just somebody out of talk to.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Then Talia speaks up again. Zan was created to protect this place from outsiders and from outside influences, but something changed. And now he is actively trying to destroy this place too.
I had a feeling that was where this was going to be going, and you need us to stop free and or destroy him to keep yourself safe, I'm assuming.
Zan is a construct. You won't get through to him.
So we have to destroy him.
And you can't quite do that either.
So we have to figure out what's kind of corrupting him and try to get rid of the corruption.
I'm not sure what we have to do yet. That's what we're going to have to figure out. Because Zan is part of this realm, so you can physically destroy him, but he returns like a vampire or like a lich.
Oh, I'm gonna look at these two and be like, construct.
So,
I take construct.
Is there a place in which he draws his power, a specific area that he reforms? Because the last place we were in, he had to get rid of 4 of those.
If he's drawing it from a specific area because he was created while this plane was being created, chances are that destroying that area that powers him would destroy the plane itself.
We should probably avoid that.
Just like what happened in the prison.
Yeah.
That's just my conjecture.
I DM out of DM speaking, I would like to note that this is not what I'm setting up here is not like Iblis 2, I promise.
No.
I promise.
No.
I know. I know.
It's
we're all sitting here going,
literally,
okay.
Yeah.
It's literally just, and that's all character-wise.
Sure.
You know, it's not you, but characters were like.
I just want you guys to be
this.
like, oh no, it's Iblis again.
It's not even that. It's like, okay, we've done this before.
Yeah.
We know what
Yeah.
to do.
We know how to destroy worlds. No.
Player, I
The
don't think
Wanderers
player we're
were
not
the
so much
destroyers.
like that.
Sure.
But
I know,
characters were like, oh, I hate constructs. Not this again.
I know. I'm sorry. The humidity is getting really
Okay.
tired.
It's warm and humid, so.
It's
Okay.
sleepy time.
Well, we still have another hour.
It's sleepy time.
Get some coffee.
That's not gonna help.
Would you stop scratching it?
One of my friends
I hate mosquitoes.
who came through from Forta, his name is Jeremy. He is another young mage who dabbled in artificing, and he may eventually find a solution to this problem. He just needs more time. What I'm asking from you guys, if you can't find a solution, is to buy time.
Okay.
Help Jeremy. And on top of that, you guys, I'm sure some of you might have seen that there's a sort of white nothingness in the distance.
Yeah.
That's because part of this plane has already been destroyed.
Oh. That's, I recognize
But
white.
while this part of Sanctuary still exists, we can actually rebuild inside Sanctuary.
Oh, cool.
Every so often. So have you guys alluded yet to the fact that you've done something like this before?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ulrich flat out said it.
Yes, Axel. Everything seems to be okay. He just needs to talk to somebody, I guess. So,
We're just as curious as
we
you.
don't know what's
Yeah,
going
we
on.
are just as much in the dark.
So,
We can be nosy.
this place is held together with what we call planar spikes, and Zan can activate these to destroy parts of the plane.
Is there any way to trap him?
No, not that I know of. But when a planar spike is destroyed, if you can find a shard of it, we can actually rebuild that part of the plane. Myself and Jeremy. I have to do it since I'm tied to the plane. And in that moment, whoever uses the shard that I activate, you sort of imagine what you want, and it becomes that.
I see why the book.
So it's a little it's a little hard to tell you. For example, we used to have a mountain range over there. We used to have an ocean over here, and we used to have a snowy villa just behind us.
So it's basically an imagine it resort.
It was a place for him to escape to.
You're in
Oh god,
Minecraft with the different
it's that one
biomes.
Star Trek episode from the original series.
You mean with the
Yes!
plans that made everybody frustrated?
And the bunny girl, the fur bikini girls.
What I'm getting at is whoever decides to activate a shard can reform that part of the plane in their own image.
I like Crime's idea. Just puppies in general, though.
So what I'm asking is sort of three-part. If you can't find a solution to Zan, buy Jeremy time to find a solution himself.
Fair warning, what we come up with may be a little odd.
It's up to whoever holds the shard, because it's hard to tell you. I can't do it myself. I have to activate the shard, but whoever brings the shard can put forth their vision.
Oh, no, I mean the solution to Zan, if we can find one. It may be a little odd.
We can come up with some kind of hair
I was kind of lost in thought through this. With him being in the troubles that he is, what exactly is he damaged?
I don't know. My dad created him, then my dad is no more.
Okay. Is there any material that he left behind on him?
If there is, I do not know. There may be informations in the planar spikes.
Okay. Does he have a workshop of his own?
My father, it was in one of the destroyed sections.
And it may be worthwhile to check out a destroyed section.
So, come into town. And she starts walking towards what looks like a tavern. I want you to meet Jeremy. I also have 3 others that are trapped that could use rescue. They're friends of myself and Jeremy. They can help you along the way if you can get them out. They were in parts of the plane that got destroyed when they got destroyed. So they're sort of floating in the abyss. Let me put it to you this way. When you start going out to the damaged areas, you do not want to fall off. If you fall into the abyssal sea, you will be there, and I do not know how to get you back.
I wonder if it's similar to being put in the astral plane. The astral ocean sounds similar to this.
I wouldn't know about that.
Okay, well, let's go meet this Jeremy fellow.
Okay. Does anybody else want to do anything as you're walking into the town?
I'm just going to try and
Throw a cloak like a
What
badly,
are the 3 people
badly
that we
covered
need to find?
refrigerator.
So, they're friends of mine and Jeremy's. Their names are Dell, Yuna, and Ulrich. And as we get closer, she'll explain a little bit.
No, I was laughing about a different part.
Oh, okay. Dell is a tiefling. He's very young. He's much of a trickster. And he has an affinity with nature. I think he's a druid. Ulrich is a middle-aged human with short black hair. He is a swordsman, must be some sort of fighter. Yuna is a middle-aged female half-elf. She seems to be able to control things with her mind. She's very, very graceful. She's very dexterous, and she has very light telepathic abilities.
She's human? No, half.
She is half-elf. Yuna's half-elf, Ulrich is human, Dell is tiefling. They all came from Forta like Jeremy did. But Jeremy's not much of a fighter, so he stays here in town trying to figure out how to deal with Zan.
We're gonna have to play catnip while we're here.
Apparently.
Like, between middleman and your first name.
Yeah, whatever. Maybe I'll gain some more notoriety.
For the wrong reasons.
And as you enter town and you pass a few buildings,
Point.
you see the population here is very sparse. You've maybe seen 20, 30 people in total.
Time to go Moroku.
Oh god.
They are... They seem to be the survivors. There's farmland that's gone to waste. It's destitute. And the bar has several people in it just seemingly sipping away their problems. In a dying world.
Time to go find some green wet stones.
Or a book with a glowy orb in it.
So attached to the tavern is a small tower, a stone tower. Through a doorway in the tavern, Talia brings you to this inside the tower, and it's one of those classic mage's towers with a spiral staircase and multiple floors. And by the time you've hit the third floor, there are several bookshelves. There are several bookshelves. Okay. And on the third floor, you guys see a very young human, male human, at least young adult or teenager. And he is wearing really beaten up spectacles. He's got short golden hair and no facial hair. No. Golden hair, not brown. And he turns around and Talia, who are these?
Hello.
Hi.
Oh.
And he had a book open. He was scribbling on a piece of parchment. Cat? Your name is Cat?
Yeah.
Cat the cat?
Katarina,
I am
but
a
everyone
lure.
calls me Tat.
Okay.
Yes.
I am a lure.
He looks at Zeke suspiciously.
This
What
is
is-
Zeke.
What is he doing here?
He's our companion.
Your companion with a construct?
Yes.
Technically, he's a warforged.
What's a warforged?
He is a sentient construct.
Well, so is Zan. And he looks over to the cleric. What's your name?
My name is Andros.
I'm Kaylin. He's Catnip.
I'm Xanthic.
And we're gonna
Yeah, we understand the irony.
Our Warforged is more annoying than anything.
Okay.
He's less of a danger to you and more of an annoyance.
Is this... And he speaks to Talia for a second. Is this who Jace brought? And she goes,
They'd be
yes.
older.
Okay.
This is the best he brought us.
Well,
Thanks.
welcome to Sanctuary.
Can I see your spectacles?
No.
Please.
Why?
I would like to give you a small gift to show that we are here on good intentions.
So you want my glasses?
For just a moment, please.
Why should I trust somebody named Xanthic?
We're here to help.
Give me a chance to show you I can be trusted.
Takes them off and stares at you very...
I'm gonna fix him.
Mending.
Pretty much on
Thank you.
Oculus Reparo.
I'm not much of a fighter.
You're like 12.
I know.
So obviously you're not much of a fighter.
You're built like the swords I use, so...
I'm very talented at building, and I have an affinity for magic, but I don't have very many offensive spells. I do clairvoyance, I do divination. I'm more of a researcher.
What is your profession?
Well, back on Forta, I was a librarian, and I joined an artificers guild out of interest. I started building mechanics, and then the gold dragon appeared and started destroying everything.
So you're an artificer?
More or less, and
That's
it's...
what this guy is. Zeke pipes up, I'm an artificer too! Watch! And he creates the cannon.
Okay. Well, I can't do that. But that certainly is interesting. I've only recently learned artificing. I'm not very good at it.
But it's gotta start somewhere.
Either way, I'm trying to figure out how we can defeat Zan, because it's quite a tricky situation. You can technically destroy him, but he reappears. And if we found a way to really destroy him for good, he might take the plane with him, since he's built in like Talia is.
So
and I'm also trying to figure out how to free Talia, but I can't figure that out either.
So the dragon is...
The dragon's history. The dragon destroyed the entire plane of Forta. We can't go home. I could go to Ravnica, but I care about Talia and I want to get my friends back. They're out in the Abyssal Sea.
So I'm still trying to wrap my head around what the danger is here.
Here is probably the safest place in the plane, because as much as Zan is on a rampage, Zan knows if he destroys this place, he destroys himself too.
So the danger is Zan is blowing up everything else.
Everything else, yes. Eventually, I don't know what Zan's motivations are. He's all mechanical. He doesn't have a personality.
Zan goes, it falls off into the space.
He can float. He won't fall off into the Abyssal Sea. He can fly.
If you gather enough of those shards of whatever, couldn't you just make a prison for him that's technically contained within this realm, but he doesn't have any admin access, basically?
You can't build a pocket dimension inside a pocket dimension, as far as I know.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be a pocket dimension. It would just have to be enough shards and enough people wishing there to be a fairly foolproof area for him to wander around, somewhat like a well-protected zoo cage.
The problem is he'd be able to escape it because he's part of the plane.
So he could just destroy it.
Or appear anywhere else. He can appear in any sector.
You put him in a cage over here. Poof, he's over here.
You could stick him in the bag and drown him.
There used to be a whole bunch of diverse biomes, and he's destroyed pretty much all of them. This is all that's left.
So we have a rampaging robot and shards that can grant wishes.
Well, not wishes per se, but we can use the shards to rebuild other parts of the plane, other sectors.
But the thoughts that are put into the shards are made into reality, correct?
With Talia, yes, because Talia's part of this place. She can use the shards to will them back into being. She can also use planar spikes, but most of the spikes are destroyed now. There's only one left that I know of, besides the one here in town.
Okay. Well, I think that should be our first destination, is the other planar spike.
If Pretty Fire Lady brings back the book, could we trap him there?
He's a
The
part
problem
of
is
the
if we
plane.
get rid of him, we get rid of
But
this.
it's not getting rid of him. It's just putting him someplace else. He
He's
needs
tied
to be
to
allowed.
If
He
you
has
take,
to
if
be
we take
here.
a fire out of the room that the fire is in, then the heat is no longer there. He is the fire for this room.
And Jeremy speaks up again. Both he and Talia are bound to this place. in the same way I'm trying to figure out the Zan problem, I'm trying to free Talia's connection so she can leave. If I can figure that out, we can just escape.
However, there does pose a small problem with your thought process. If you can figure out how to get Talia free from her connection with this realm, what happens if Zan figures that out too with your experimentations and machinations and winds up going to other realms and destroying them? You open up that possibility.
The reason Zan's able to destroy parts of this plane is because he's part of it, as in he's built into this pocket dimension.
Right.
If he were able to escape, I can only imagine the destruction he'd write.
And if you can figure out how to get Talia to leave, then he would be able to use that and leave too. So you're creating a possibility of him escaping to other places.
You're right. That's why it's just so tough.
So let me get this straight. You can't use the realm that you're in to trap him. We can't send him to another. We can't send him to another realm. Otherwise, this whole place will be destroyed. We can't dump him into the sea of nothingness because he can float, and we can't kill it because it'll just come back.
So far, that's correct.
But that doesn't mean we don't have recourse.
There has to be something we can do.
How long does it take him to come back after you kill him?
It depends on how many spikes are available. It seems like the spikes keep this place stable. He's destroyed most of them, so it takes him a long time to come back. But if we were to keep rebuilding, he would be able to react quicker.
Yeah, but if there's only one spike, then you can only rebuild one section, correct?
We'd have to find a shard from a destroyed spike.
Okay. So what we need to do first is kill him right now. That will buy you time.
About a day, probably.
Yeah, but a day is better than nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to need your guys' help on this, or I can figure it out, but I just need that time.
I think locating the other spike
is more important.
Is the priority, because it is highly possible, from just a little bit that I've gleaned here, if we start to mess around with the spike, that would bring Zan to us, and we can
kill two birds with one stone,
as it were.
Each spike that's gonna be, because we've gone through this process we've gone through this process once or twice, where we get a spike back. Every time, I'm trying to figure this out myself. I've only been here for what seems like a month or two, but every time we get sectors of this plane rebuilt, Zan grows in power, because there's more, I guess. There's the spikes power the realm, and the spikes power him.
His strength is equivalent to
the size of the realm.
Yeah. So.
I think that's still a good plan.
That's when you activate the spike, not when you get the spike.
So
because if you are in possession of the spike, but you don't activate it to grow it would make him bigger.
I think there's a misunderstanding. The spikes are these giant rock structures that are just there.
So we can't. It's not something we can actually go get.
No.
Right here.
What you can get is a shard. When a spike is destroyed, it creates shards, and most of them fall into the abyssal sea, but a few end up in or around the area. And if you just get one shard of decent size, Talia and I can bring it back to reality and rebuild the spike. To the best of our knowledge, when this realm was full and not in danger and nothing like this was happening, there were 8 spikes. Right now there's 2. There's the one here in, I know it's confusing, but this town, we call this town Sanctuary. Even though the plane's called Sanctuary, this town is Sanctuary.
Sanctuary. It's like Barovia and Barovia.
It's, there's a shard, there's a spike here in Sanctuary, and there's one to the north that's in a plains. That he he hasn't destroyed that one for some reason. So there's still 6 others that are destroyed. And if you go any direction for long enough, you will hit a border where you will peer out and you'll see the Abyssal Sea. And I strongly suggest you either learn to fly or don't fall over.
We have the ability to fly.
You do?
I can't fly.
Anybody get some rope?
I thought we had the ability to fly.
Somebody did.
You and Metal Boy.
We used invisibility. That's what we both used.
Dark. Dr. Leech has a dark plan.
Yes, I do have the ability. I do have the ability to make some of us fly.
This will probably take some time. I gotta figure out. My current battle plan is to free Talia from the realm. I know that it could bring Zan out of here too, but I have a feeling if Zan appeared in another plane, he could be destroyed for good.
Krabby, I can prepare to spell magic.
It may not be a bad idea to get him out there. Who knows what his power will be outside of the plane.
Well, we need to make a journey to this other spike just to see what we're dealing with.
Okay. Talia will go with you if you want. She'll need protection, but
we'll need gear.
What do you need? We don't have a lot.
Neither do we, as you can see.
We've been here a week.
You've been here a week?
We have been without anything since we showed up on Ravnica about a week ago.
I'm sure.
We are looking for. If we're going to do this, we're going to need weapons and arms.
I'm sure we can provide you some basic stuff.
Better than what we have now. Thank you, Lord Gasumba, for the host and the raid.
Thank you for the raid.
That scared the crap out of me.
You might want to.
Phantom.
You might want to save that number for Lormir, because I won't have a way to write that in tonight.
Alrighty. 23 people.
Oh, good
Huge
Lord.
raid.
Thank you for the raid, 23.
It's still not the biggest raid, but
Thank you, Lord Gasumba, for joining us tonight.
Thank
I
you.
hope all went well on your stream.
I unfortunately can't do a raid from where we're at right now. So.
Not tonight.
Not tonight. It may end up in Saturday's game.
If it does, you guys are in for a world of hurt.
Oh, great.
So, we are going to need to grab.
We'll just need them to the tadpoles.
We're thinking of you, Phantom. That's why we're here.
There's a couple of armories. I'm sure you can find basic weapons and gear. I don't have anything magical for you.
We need something to work with. We are without.
So for you guys, if you want to crack open a PHP or whatever, you guys can have access to basic weapons and armor. If you have a question, let me know. But I know you're equipped.
I'm good.
Yep. But everybody else who lost stuff in between
Yes.
Chapter 1 and 2, you guys can find basic gear.
Yeah, I mean...
And after equipping, I would like to head north to find that spike.
Okay.
Same. And a bow, and that'd be good.
Actually, I have my master short sword, so. Yeah, I've got my master short sword, quarterstaff, and the longbow, so it's fine.
And Jay, I thought you still had a...
I have a dirk. That's it. That's a D4. So I will need armor and a short sword and a bow, and that should be good for me.
Okay, it takes some looking around town to find it, but you can find it, and no one's asking for money. There's no shopkeepers. It's kind of a very destitute place.
This is what we have. Take what you can.
Yeah.
This is what you get. Take what you can get.
As you walk around, people are eyeing Zeke the wrong way because they're afraid that he's related to Zan.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
just all wear t-shirts that say I'm with annoying, and he'll just have a t-shirt that says annoying.
Annoying.
Very gently, yes, very much gently. Alright. So, the only thing I picked up was some armor and a longbow.
Okay.
I have a longbow and a quarterstaff, things like that.
So, where you're at right now, in the main part of Sanctuary, besides being a town, it's very open. You see a few trees here and there. You see a couple of rolling hills. Like I said, it's very Middle European. You've got small cobblestone walls. Green grass. It's long in most places. Nobody's around to cut it.
Some others we can't see her over on.
Yeah. At some points, Allura's stuck in the grass.
You look a pink fairy.
Every time she grabs my leg, I'm gonna swat her off and say dang ticks.
But I can't see, guys.
No, we're gonna do like we did last time. If the grass tends to get that thick, I'll just toss her up on my shoulders.
Okay.
We seriously need to build like a wooden shelf with a belt buckle on it to keep me under.
The Master Blaster thing.
I don't have a map available for you guys yet, but I'll probably have one built by next Wanderers, if we do Wanderers again in 2 weeks, or if it's Strata, I'm not sure yet.
It sounds like
I think it's still Wanderers for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Until we can get everybody at the table. She doesn't want to do it without everybody at the table.
Either way, at the moment right now, as you look around, you see to the north there is a passageway that gets surrounded by slightly taller hills, and from the north to the south, or I'm sorry, to the west, there is what looks like the beginning of a forest.
Before we actually head out, should we not rest? Yeah, probably. Because you got beaten up in that fight, and I'm at like half health. And I...
Fireball time.
Gosh, dang it.
Very close, but no fire cigar.
We can take a rest. I have a way to make sure we're protected when we do.
And Jeremy speaks out. He says, this is the safest place to be. No one here is going to attack you. They might attack the metal man, so if they're desperate enough.
He doesn't sleep, so that would be a very bad idea.
But Zan himself and any hostile creatures are beyond Sanctuary.
So sleep now.
Might as well get our rest in.
It's okay, we'll just make Zeke cuddle between a couple of us.
Sleep now or forever hold your HP.
No.
So yeah.
So
Gather our gear, get a good rest.
when you guys get your gear and rest, you guys feel more powerful.
Do we level?
You guys are level 7. So you guys can level up now if you want, because I don't have a whole lot to do. What?
I still have a note from when we ended chapter 1 going level to 7.
Yep, now you can do it. So go ahead and level up. I would normally do it over break or whatever, but I'm a little out for tonight. I can keep going if you guys want to go to the first spike or try to make your way there.
I think we can wander that direction a little bit, get some story and all we...
But go ahead and level.
And now we kill them with fireball. In a house with 87 PHPs. How long will it take?
Right.
If you need another one, I have another one too.
And the one behind it.
Yeah.
Ours is right here.
Tia, do you need one?
Please.
Joe, you
No,
need
I
one?
get the fancy one.
That's mine.
Mine's fancy.
Yes.
You can tell because I've got the wild magic tab.
Shining.
That's the only tab I ever put in my book was for wild magic.
I went to level up I went to give myself a second level of Warlock and rolled 7 instead, so all of a sudden I'm 11.
11? Yeah. No, you're not.
I would ask Patrick because...
Ask me what?
I rolled a 2.
I'm in favor of take the average if you roll less than it. I may have not made that clear before, but
That's why I said ask. Because I know
as of this point forward, if you roll less than average, take average. Average or higher.
So I went from 40 to 46 hit points.
I get a 4 trouble spell.
Same here. I get evasion and stillness of mind.
I get another sneak attack.
I like
In between resting and being at the bar or whatever, you guys overhear a story or two. It's mostly sad. It's people who have lost family, lost friends to the plane that's no longer around. And you hear that the wildlife tends to get pretty aggressive the further out you travel from Sanctuary.
When they talk about wildlife, what kind of wildlife do they talk about?
You hear anything from wildlife that you know, like bears and wolves, to even other types of creatures, and some creatures that you've never even heard of before. The names pass you by, but it's a very big assortment of assailant type creatures, and you've got other races out there too, like goblins. It seems like there was a whole ecosystem in this place at one point in time.
Okay. And even with so much of the planet disappearing, we're still seeing a large influx of creatures here.
Some.
Okay. I'm done.
I'm
Okay.
just writing down evasion and stillness of mind. And
I
that's all
literally,
got.
yeah, I literally just have to pick a spell. Ooh, I should check Xander's. I don't want to do it. Krabby, as a cleric, I cannot take Fireball. I'm sorry, darling, but that's just not in the cards.
I have Fireball, and I've used it.
Yeah, and the DMs used it, and lit the forest on fire.
Stop it.
And then lit the city on fire.
And you hear tales of jelly. You hear tales of sight of a hippogriff. You've heard of giants, maybe even wormlings. I mean, you kind of hear a little bit of everything. It almost seems like from tales of when there were more spikes, it seems like the power of Zan's power is directly related to how dangerous the outside world is.
Okay.
Because Zan and Talia are both part of the plane, so they can sort of shape it to their will, but Talia needs shards to do it. And whereas Zan appears to be just taking over the spikes. Was Axel not there when I accidentally lit the forest on fire?
No, I
Oh.
think that was actually before. No,
We were streaming.
He just
But
wasn't there for it.
That was like the very beginning of our streaming, and I don't know if he had started watching
Maybe not.
us yet.
No, Axel, while they're leveling, they were in a magical forest. We were playing in a, I was doing Iblis from Final Fantasy, and they were in Salika Wood, and there was a group of, I believe it's just bandits, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That they were out there and they were trying to warn the party to not light the forest on fire because something bad would happen. And I totally forgot I said that, and then I had the first bandit cast Fireball in the forest.
Like 5 minutes later.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Maybe he was being sarcastic. You had an idea, Xantha?
Nope.
I said bandits, and you were like...
That was me remembering the scene.
Oh, yeah, okay. See, Axel, Your wanton use of fireballs is destructive on purpose. Mine was an accident. He was trying to destroy the Wanderers and accidentally ended up lighting the forest on fire. That he said not to do.
I like evasion. When you're subjected to an effect that allows you to make a dexterity saving throw or to take only half damage, you instead take no damage if you succeed on a saving throw, and only half damage if you fail. Such as Dragon's Lightning Breath or Fireball.
What, Patrick?
I'm smiling at you being warm.
Right.
And all the whole time you're thinking is, I love this band.
Yes.
It's cool with me.
Dr. Leach talking about banishment. Yeah, that was.
No.
I enjoyed using banishment as a defensive spell in that campaign.
Never mind. Yeah, I did.
That was some good times. I do miss that campaign.
Which one's that?
We ran for a short time with Dr. Leach and Nick at the shop. We did a trip to the lower planes, the trip to hell.
The Abyss.
The Abyss. Well, not the Abyss. It was
Underdark?
no. It was hell, but there was a name for it.
Yeah, because weren't you in...
Gabs and I, yeah.
Yeah, because that's where...
Yes, Gehenna. And we fought an Arcanoloth.
Ah, yes. I remember hearing bits and pieces of that.
Yep, and my mage, Quilena, used a bunch of... it was a slick move.
That is not what I read at first.
Yeah, I didn't read slick either. And I'm sure in Nick's case, he probably thought it was the other one. Because with Quilena, I used banishment defensively.
Yep.
Loxy was in trouble.
That's when she bounced back.
Yes. During that brief period where we had her back in Lorimir for 6 seconds, was because Quilena banished her for 1 round.
Because of the Hellhound.
But I thought banishment
I was there for that. I was there for that in the shop for a brief moment.
Yep.
And that's how we figured out the power.
So I banished Aloxis, which brings her back to her home plane,
which is Lorimir.
And I had banished her for 1 round because I brought her back.
Oh, okay. So you purposely brought her back.
Yes, I ended the spell.
For a minute.
Yes, I ended the spell early. So.
If a lure polymorphs the construct into a turtle, and it gains the turtle's intelligence and inability to command its powers, can we then lock it up?
Who knows?
You know what I'm going to say? It's going to be Joe's favorite words.
You can try.
Try.
Only an hour or so, but it would give us time to come up with something.
Every time polymorph comes up, all I can think of...
We could use a wish ring to make it permanent.
Where are you finding a wish ring, my dear?
There is another way to use polymorph that is very, very stupid fun. Hey Xantha, what? I want to turn you into a mouse. Okay. And then you take said mouse, and you go... And then as he goes and flies over the other opponents, you go...
Dismiss.
And boom! Xantha falls on people.
Xantha bomb.
A Xantha bomb.
Well, could one of the shards make us a wish ring?
Do you know with Mirren? What, haste him first? And then dismiss it as he falls? We do a Mirren bomb!
You do have to understand, though, depending on how well you throw and where you throw, it could hurt the person you've chucked.
That's why you do it with somebody like Mirren. Because he can take it.
I rage on my way down. Half damage.
Belly flop, stands up, I'm good!
We actually
cast,
did the Monty
Featherfall.
Python.
Yes.
Cast Featherfall.
You can do that too. But
So, I do want to make it clear, I tried to make it clear, but just so you guys know, if you're here long enough to start rebuilding spikes...
He's gonna get it.
No, what I'm trying to say is, be imaginative. If you want, here's what I was trying to say during discourse: is you guys are rebuilding this plane. You have all the tools you need, should you survive,
Now I see where you were going.
to make this plane in your own visions. If you want to add a mountain range, or you want to add a deep sea, you want to add rolling hills, you want to add whatever, just be creative. Think about how you want to add.
Not a city.
We can make the Shire!
Or
Orbital shock barbarians.
Yes.
Oh, dude, polymorph Niren to make him into some mundane object, and then use catapult.
Yes!
The spell catapult will launch him,
Yes.
and then
You just say like I'm imagining like a scroll or something, and it's an inanimate object flying through. Whee!
Can you polymorph into an animal?
No.
Doesn't it have to be a creature?
yes.
But even if you made him like a hamster or a rat or something, it's just like he would.
You could
Would he make the
catapult
animal
from-
noises, or would he make would he speak in
he
common?
would use the same language as whatever you turned into.
Okay. You just hear squeak.
That's fair, Krabby. But like what Rep was saying, you could use banishment defensively, like what he did with
Alexis,
Alexis. And technically, they could choose to fail their save, then, couldn't they?
Yeah, she could have failed her save to not be banished.
Well, no.
Or no, she could have failed her save to be banished.
banished.
Yes.
Right. So she could have choose to fail her save.
Yep.
Yes. And she did.
You can accept the spell or deny the spell
Yep.
and roll.
Because it's technically an offensive spell, but I used it defensively.
Right. Because Krabby said, the thing with banishment is it is save or stop.
Yeah, most people use banishment to take
Yeah, but if
an
you use
enemy out.
it defensively like that, then she chooses to fail on it.
Banishment.
Succeeds.
Okay, I'm good with this.
Yeah, it took her because she was surrounded. She was surrounded by whatever it was that was surrounding
Yeah,
us.
I think I would have taken banishment for that if
So-
my party member said, I'm going to banish you so you can get out of that situation. Okay, got it.
And with Quilena, I had a stop blowing that into the fan.
You know, just doing it on purpose now.
I'm sitting here looking this way. I could see.
The DM is in a fog. Literally.
Quilena had a simulacrum, who was cutely named Similena, and so simulacrums don't get their spells back,
Cool.
Yeah.
but they get a copy of everything that you had when you casted them. When you cast them.
Oh, okay.
So
For just about anything.
I used banishment on my character so she can get it back,
I still like it.
but then I would use cantrips on my simulacrum because they're infinite.
That's right,
Nice.
Krabby. I forgot I was gonna take Guardian of Fae. 'Cause yeah, big boy, Spirit Guardian.
Just for that
And
look.
just for that look, I know which spell I'm taking.
And this is why we have chat to remind us of things.
Damn it.
Thank you, Krabby. I forgot.
Stillness of mind.
Yep, I know that.
Starting at
Monks are brutal. They're not as bad as they were in 3.5, but they are pretty intense.
So starting off at 7th level, I can use my action to end one effect on myself that is causing me to be charmed or frightened.
Nice.
I have resistance to charm because elf, but it says nothing about frightened. So,
That would be halfling. Halflings have advantage versus fright.
Stoutheart happens or not Lightfoot.
I can't wait to be able to actually use my druid.
Wisdom mod plus level, so I should be able to have 10 spells other than spells. Oh wait, I get 2 domain spells. I forgot about that.
According to
Me.
Cobalt Fight Club, 6 players at level 7 are most adult dragons are just a medium challenge.
Yep.
Cool.
Some of them aren't, but most of them, they're just a medium challenge. One of them is a medium challenge for 6 of you.
If you ask to learn nicely enough, maybe you
However,
should
if you
polymorph
play
your
it the right
rival
way,
with a snail.
it will still
Ooh.
destroy
Oh yeah,
half
That
the
would
party.
be really cool.
a medium
Set
challenge,
one.
not an easy or a hard.
But then he'll poof back.
Would he be damaged?
But no,
Just
but
talking
it
about
would be
numbers.
Really, it would be
Yeah,
really cool
if
to
you look
just
at
do
it in
that
the black and
all.
white sense, yes.
Yeah.
So,
But if you play it
Or
right,
we
it will
can
still
carry him
destroy.
around. Put him in a jar.
Right? Is some kind.
We
Oh,
can
and I
kind of
don't
bag it. We
spell.
can put it in a bag of it.
I am a spell
There you go.
Yuna. I just call him over, pick him up, drop him in the bag.
Axel about that,
That would
with
work
banishment,
so
then yes.
good.
All your troubles are gone magically.
I've read that about
That's a very
banishment.
good idea.
When you want to banish things, they usually have the resistance to save against it. But it's still useful in the capacity I used it.
Alright, I'm done.
So polymorph the concept.
Into a wait, you
She's
can't.
got advantage on
I
saving
mean-
throws against spells and other magical effects. I'm like,
Gnomes have that as well.
Thank you for the follow.
Everesina.
Honestly, I would agree with that as well.
yes, actually,
Axel,
somebody.
um,
Now I'm thinking
for
about
Dr.
stabbing
Leach,
them.
personally,
They have cutting action.
when
so
I
can
would
disengage.
God.
I think it's fun to flavor text that, like, your
I still
guardian of faith or something
I
could
do like the
appear as, like, undead.
What?
That'd be kind of
That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do to my rival. We're gonna polymorph him into a snail and drop him in the bag of devouring.
And poof, all your problems are solved just like that.
You could.
It's a grungy snail.
You
it
probably
worked.
could.
But not everybody's a fan of escargot.
I guarantee you the bag of devouring do not care.
They were the bag of devouring was eating dead goblin bodies.
Right.
I don't think
Like,
it'll
he-
care
yeah.
if it's escargot.
Man, I don't need something to eat in about a day or two.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Can you
else.
imagine him polymorphing back and you just see a leg sticking out? Like his foot's doing this.
Oh, he
I
wouldn't be able
think-
to make his strength save to pull himself free as a snail.
I think Katarina would be not upset about that.
No.
It would be cathartic.
Right?
Oh, look at you struggling. You can't get out.
Right?
I'm so happy right now.
Would that work on a ghost?
Good question.
We could stick the auras off in it. Just,
What?
I need more coffee. Would that work on a ghost?
No, talking about
I don't know if coffee works on ghosts.
It does on this one.
Are
talking
you a
about
ghost?
polymorphing Cat's rival into a snail and sticking him in the bag of devouring.
No, thank you.
I don't think she caught any
No.
of that.
We're talking about polymorphing my rival and then into a snail and then sticking him into the bag of devouring.
Wait, aren't you guys supposed to be the good guys?
Yeah, what was her idea?
It depends on
Good.
who's telling the story.
Good question.
I thought we were supposed to be the good guys. My history is written by the survivors.
He's an
so.
asshole.
I also suggested we could use it to get rid of the auras of people.
You
can defeat the
get to
bag
be a
of
zombie
devouring
snail,
something.
and you get to be a zombie snail, and you get to be a zombie snail. Hey, look, bag of devouring. Here's some snacks. Bless you.
Not enough coffee in the world for you people.
Oh, but you love us.
Alright, have a good night, everyone. I'm going into fractals and I'm not coming out for a while.
Good night.
Must be absorbed into the world of pixels.
There's 2 different animes about that. Neither of them end well.
I don't know. Sword Art Online was pretty good.
I'm okay with it.
Log Horizon.
Oh, yeah, Log Horizon.
I think Log Horizon is a little bit more fitting in this case, though.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Is everybody leveled?
Yeah. Level 7's is super easy.
Yeah, it is.
Depending if you cross
I
class.
got cutting
Well,
action.
okay, but straight level 7.
What, so I'm curious, did you go
Second level we're up.
Okay.
I now have Agonizing Blast and
So,
Eldritch Sight.
interestingly enough, while you're resting, you get this very vivid dream. It's a dream.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell because there's oddities, and you're in that realm again with the verdant green, and you're just absolutely overwhelmed by foliage. You cut piece by piece, but it just seems to regrow in your fingers. And
Walk away.
I think she went to the bathroom. Yep. I thought she went upstairs. I thought you put something in the microwave and then went upstairs without it. I'm like,
No, I'm multitasking. Congrats on 11. I heard that upstairs and I thought something was wrong at first. So I'm like, oh, they're just
So all of this foliage and stuff.
yeah, I need to look up something real quick. I know we're almost done anyway.
that's really interesting people so far.
Yeah, so you cut away this foliage, and most of it regrows right in between your hands. And you can see through, there's eventually a path. And you continue to cut at it, and you start moving real slow. You feel weighted down. You look around, and everything sort of follows your eyes a second later.
Yep.
And you can see you've made it to a clearing, and there is that solid green elf shape, and you can tell that it has a head that turns towards you, and you can see almost like an Alice in Wonderland like smile. Cheshire cat smile, yeah. And what? Huh?
Fireball it.
Fireball it?
Yeah.
Okay. And you hear kind of the words don't match, so it's moving its mouth.
I'm watching bad Chinese Godzilla.
Not quite. Okay, the words match, but it's after the fact. So like you could see the shape of the mouth.
Audio sync is off.
Yes, like the sync is off.
I hate that.
And it sort of floats towards you and surrounds you. And in between high tones and low tones of talking, you hear like a faint harp type of music playing in the background. And you hear, "How goes your quest?"
I've just started to learn how to plane hop.
Do you remember what I asked of you?
Yes, and I believe this will be a useful tool to make that happen.
All right. And you can see in phases his arm does this and reaches out to you.
Am I close enough to...
Yeah, you like again, you feel sluggish, but you can make it.
Clasp hands.
And you feel a transfer of energy. You have become a second level warlock. So, Oberon has blessed you with more power.
What?
Second level warlock.
Okay, I didn't hear second level, I heard succubus, and I was like, well, there's a twist.
Xanth the succubus.
Oh god.
Okay.
I did get a short sword when I was there because it's better than my hand.
What's that?
A short sword.
Okay.
You'll have to remind me.
Sure,
after.
you can find a short sword.
Yeah. I just wanted to let you know that.
Okay.
It didn't surprise me.
Okay, got it. You all wake up and...
Thank you, Jaded.
That way I have up close.
Wow.
Thank you very much, Jaded.
Thanks, Jaden.
Wow.
Nice, thank you.
Very kind of you.
Yes.
Holy smokes, yeah.
I did.
That's
Warlock of Mirren, bold choice.
I love you.
that.
Ooh,
Wow.
I want to do that. I volunteer to test drive that one.
Okay.
Only if it's Ari and Elfakir's daughter.
Huh.
Never gonna happen. But maybe it'll be Mirren and Elfakir's daughter.
Yes,
A
Jaded.
warlock of her father?
Oh, that'd be...
So messed up in so many ways. I want to play this.
Okay. Does anybody want to do anything? I know you guys are still looking for maybe a little piece of gear here and there, but it's morning. It's what you surmise is morning. Strangely enough, it's really weird too because when you get outside, it's bright outside, but you can't necessarily see the sun. And then as a few minutes pass, you can actually see from where the white end of the plane is, you can see it sort of start to peek out.
No.
Okay, and that's where we'll leave off.
Outstanding.
So you guys are starting your first morning in Sanctuary.
How are we going to destroy this world?
It's going on to Saturday.
No.
We need to raid.
We need to raid someone.
That's right.
I was just reminding.
That's right.
If anybody has a suggestion in chat on who we could raid, please feel free. Otherwise, I'm going to take a look.
I saw Smokey was on.
I don't know if she's still live.
I've got raid ready, so we're gonna raid. But before we leave, thank you to Syrinscape for audio. You can catch us again on Saturday. Well, tomorrow.
Actually, the Grouch Couch.
Okay, is it just the Grouch Couch?
The Grouch Couch.
Okay, before I hit enter here, do we want to say anything else?
Big
tomorrow?
thank you to Syrinscape. We are going to be doing the Heroes Approved D&D one-shot tomorrow with the Grouch Couch, Lich, Spooky Sprinkles, and Joe Dirt. Saturday will be Lorimir. Sunday, it's up in the air. I might find something to do just for giggles on our stream. I'm not sure yet. But we will announce that
as it happens,
as we get that figured out. And then Monday will be our Dragons Discourse. If you have any questions, topics, or ideas, please put them in Discord, Twitter, Twitch, wherever. Huge thank you to Jaded for that donation. That was more than anything we could be thankful for. In the meantime, have a wonderful evening.
Alright, stick with us. We're going to raid the Grouch Couch.
Stick around. We're going to raid the Grouch Couch, one of our very good friends.
And everybody have a great night.
Night. I'll never be able to do it again.
Good job.